All right, welcome to BDA Boxing, the boxing debate arena. Your host for today will be myself, King Bucho. All right, we already have some people in the hangouts. We have Precise, Johnny Boy, and Stuart Little. What's up, guys?
What's up?
All
What's
right,
up? Yeah.
welcome to the show,
So
guys.
much.
Today we're gonna be talking about the semi-final, leg one in the bantamweight tournament. Who is it again? Nonito Donaire against Zolani Tete. So we're gonna try to break down this fight and get everyone's predictions, including you guys in the chat. All right, who's excited about this fight? I know I am.
Me.
I am. Yeah, it's a great fight, man. Seems like Nonito Donaire is like he rejuvenated his career now that he's gone down bound. He went back to 118.
Yeah,
Um,
Bucho,
the,
he's Donaire's kind of getting his second wind of his career, you know what I mean? Because he went up, he lost the Rigondeaux, whatever. Fuck Rigondeaux. But he lost the Rigondeaux. He lost on points to Frampton, but then he come back down, beat Burnett. So he's kind of getting a second win. He's getting some life back in his career, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I read an interview where Nonito Donaire said that he feels obviously the power's back because he's fighting smaller guys, and he also feels faster. And I always thought that Donaire looked kind of pudgy even at 122, and then of course at 126. So I don't think he should have stayed at 122 at least, in my opinion. He never should have gone to 126.
Yeah, I think Donaire's problem is he got stuck in this counter punching mode. I mean, even with Rigondeaux, I think if he goes about his business like he did with Burnett, where Burnett's a very very tricky fighter, very skilled fighter, but Donaire just put it on him, just started throwing with him, and just didn't give him a chance to breathe. And I think if that Donaire turns up, because Tete's not busy, Tete is going to throw a limited amount of punches each round. It's going to be very Rigondeaux like. You're very technical, very boring at times. But he can also bang, so you've got to be very careful when you're going in. But I think if Donaire can pile on the pressure like he did against Burnett, I think that's his best way to win. I don't think he can go play counter punching with Tete because I think he tried that with Rigondeaux and I think he got schooled. So I'd like to see, like I said, Donaire's looking like he's rejuvenated, shall we say, from the Burnett. I still think the Burnett fight was a very interesting fight. The injury, we never really got to see where Donaire was basically because he was coming back into the fight. He lost the first few rounds, but coming back, so we didn't really know how he would be in the latter round. So that's still an answer because he's getting on a bit and he's been in a lot of wars. But it's an exciting fight. It really is. But for now, I don't know, man. I'm just gonna have to lean towards Tete, but I wouldn't be surprised if Donaire pulls this off.
Okay. Precise, what about you? Are you
So
there?
again,
No, I was talking to Precise. Probably wanted to take a piss or something. We also have Pavel on the line. Pavel, what's up? It's been a long time.
Hi. Yeah, indeed it was. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
How you doing, Pavel?
All good, man. So yeah, the subject is Donaire versus Tete.
Exactly.
So should I give my prediction straight away or
Well,
what's the
are you excited about this fight? First of all, are you looking forward to it?
yeah, I'm curious. Not necessarily like excited, but
Mm.
yeah, I'd like to see that fight. Specifically, I'd like to see Donaire whooping Tete's ass in the later rounds. That's my wishful prediction, but yeah, Tete of course has a chance, being the younger guy. Donaire's kind of an experienced fighter to say the least. I mean, he's been through some tough fights, so I don't know. I wouldn't say it's necessarily 50-50 because I give 60% of an edge to Tete, but maybe that's a stretch for Tete. That is, I don't know. Maybe I'll change my mind later on.
Well, before we get into specific predictions, let's just talk about Donaire's last fight when he fought Ryan Burnett. Some people give a lot of credit to Nonito Donaire. I was reading some comments, especially a lot of Filipinos. They were saying that body shot, it was a body shot or an accumulation of body shots that led to Ryan Burnett having that back spasm, whatever it was. Other people.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
Burnett threw a big punch. He put a lot of weight behind it, planted his feet, and he was out of range. And he hit thin air. And that's what happens sometimes. When you throw a big shot and put a lot of weight into it, and you don't land, them sort of things can happen. Where you and it's sort of like it pops straight away. And that's Donaire putting the pressure on. So I'm not going to take the credit away from Donaire for that. Donaire was piling on the pressure, and he kept him busy. So if that was the way Donaire weren't doing anything and then he did it, then yeah, I'd probably say so. But Donaire was in that fight, so he made Burnett pull that muscle because he was piling on the pressure, and Burnett had to throw big shots. So yeah, that's all I can say about that.
That's how I tore a muscle in my shoulder throwing some shit I missed.
Well, that's what happens, bro. When you don't connect, that's why they say, man. When you keep missing, it takes a lot of energy out of you, and it can also cause a lot of injuries.
Oh yeah, you know what, Stuart? That's what I said about Wilder and Fury throwing all them bombs and hitting nothing but air. That takes a lot out of you, dog. Especially when it's over and over and over again, too. Yeah.
And if you're missing.
Good point.
And I hope we can get on. I hope later on, when this topic's died a death a little bit, I hope we get onto the Ortiz ducking Joshua, because we're not going to let get away with that, sure.
Oh no! I was going to make another episode special, but we can talk about it today. I wrote it down.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking pathetic. Yeah. This guy. Don't get me going. We'll talk about it later. Let's just get it over with. This Donaire, Tete fight. Pavel, you believe that the body shots were the cause of that back spasm, whatever that Burnett had, correct?
Yeah, to be precise, I believe that was one of the major factors for the injury that happened.
Yeah. A lot of people, if you guys in the chat, if you want to, because I'm not going to show it here because I don't want any copyright strikes. But if you go look at the fight, round 3 at the 25-second mark, there's a huge body shot that is thrown by Donaire and lands on Burnett. And they say that that's the cause. But in my opinion, that isn't, like, listen, that wasn't the reason why. That shot landed, it sounded really, really hard, really bad. But Burnett was still moving around. He did, unless he had a really good poker face, but I don't think one shot was the reason why.
The thing is, apart from the accuracy of body punches, to the vital spots like the liver or solar plexus or the gut, the thing is, with body shots, biomechanically, you move the physical structure, what's inside. So, for example, your musculoskeletal system, like if you get a body shot from your oblique side, then it's possible to for your discs to twist around in a weird fashion, for example, in between your vertebrae. So that shot that you mentioned reminded me of the shot that Pacquiao took versus Margarito in the 6th round, I believe, to the body.
Oh yeah.
The one that broke his ribs. Yeah, in my opinion, Pacquiao's body was just trained better, and conditioned enough so he didn't broke any shit.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Gonzalo, are you there?
Injuries happen, mate. Injuries happen. You get freak injuries. That's just all it was,
I don't think we can know. You know what I mean? Because I don't think we can ever know what exactly happened. Was it the accumulation of body shots, or was it just Burnett throwing a bad punch? You know what I mean?
I've never heard of I've never heard of a body shot putting a back out. You know what I mean? Where, slipping a disc from a body shot. I've never heard that one. Do you know what I
it
mean?
was kind of.
Come on, man.
On top of that, it's a bit
Alright.
delayed. You know what I mean? It's like, what? I don't know. Listen, I'm not an expert on this. I'm not a physiologist. I don't know shit.
Yeah,
No.
it's this ain't
I
fucking
saw what
Dragon.
happened.
This ain't
I saw
fucking,
what happened.
this ain't fucking Dragon Ball Z where you guys.
Yeah, exactly, man.
I'm not saying that's the direct cause of
Mhm.
your body changing inside. Is just
It doesn't help.
there are some forces like the I think it's called the rotational force. So when an object, for example, at the end of a chain is hitting you from the side, that can actually cause your vital organ to move permanently to one side. So
You know,
I'm not saying that a punch, to the body, hard punch can physically change your internal structure, because that's not possible. It can be one of the factors that can contribute to the later change.
you know, you know what always fucks my back. I don't do it much anymore, but I got that scoliosis shit too. But
Uh-huh.
whenever I go fucking golfing, bro, that shit, I am so my back is fucked the next day, dog. Like,
Listen, it may be not your back. It's just maybe that you have muscle imbalance. A lot of I'd say one of the major causes for the back pain isn't that something is structurally damaged on your spine or whatever. It's just maybe your
Like tight
oblique muscles.
hamstrings could be
Yeah,
contributing to that. Yeah.
yeah, and
for
I
for
stretch.
example, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and I stretch a lot, like every morning and shit, bro. Like
yeah. Look,
I've always
b-
had a bad back though, because I've worked construction since I was like 16, bro.
yeah, so it may be that your side belly muscles, your oblique muscles are too tight or not strong enough, or for example, my brother had a shoulder pain that manifested in its interior part, but it wasn't specifically related to the shoulder. It's just his brachialis muscle, which is partially located under the biceps, was too tight, and that was causing the um, the discomfort that manifested in the shoulder. But the issue wasn't with the shoulder per se. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not having my big ass in shape ain't gonna help the fucking cause either, though. So I'm working on that too.
Yeah.
See, the problem with the back injury is every movement's in the back. I mean, you could probably get away with the shoulder. We saw George Groves survive the final round, having to go to war with Eubank with his shoulder popped out. We saw Danny Williams get an amazing knockout fight with one arm with his dislocated shoulder. So the shoulder you can actually carry on it. Most don't, but some will. But with the back injury, that just every movement you do is just pure pain, and there's just no way around it. So, at the end of the day, that's the past. That fight, there's no point talking about that. Donaire's got a task ahead of him, and that's what I want to know what you guys think. I mean, can Donaire pull this off, or are we asking a bit too much? Because we're getting some people are getting a bit hyped over the Burnett thing. Yes, he was doing well, but it was only 4 rounds we saw. So,
Well,
4 rounds. When you're at that world class level, four rounds, most fighters take that to have a look. So.
I rewatched the fight, the Burnett fight, and every time Burnett went to the offensive, he was very effective, like landing a lot of punches. I don't know. That fight ended early, so what would have happened later? I don't know. What do you guys think? Well,
Like I
Gonzalo.
said, it's guesswork, isn't it? It is absolute guesswork. So
No, but
I'd rather. Sorry.
That was no about Donaire, like because where do we situate him? Is he near retirement? Is he actually a new fighter now? What is it? I'm not sure.
Sorry, man. I thought you meant about Donaire Burnett again. Well, we don't know. Like I said, he looks a lot better at super bantamweight. That's for sure. He's definitely not featherweight. So yeah, I think he's a good fight for anyone. He's still got the tools, and let's not forget that left hook. If that lands clean on anyone, they're going to sleep. So
Will experience be a factor in this fight? Will experience be a factor?
With Tete.
Yes, he's 36.
Jesus. For that weight, that's a bit old.
Yeah, for the lower weight classes, he's 36. We'll see.
Well, Gonzalo, what do you think about this fight?
It's interesting. I just mentioned something real quick about Burnett. I agree with Stu. When you throw a punch with force and you miss, and you know that's probably what did happen to Ryan Burnett. No, but about this fight, well, Zolani Tete. I mean, he's been on a winning streak, and he got that impressive first round knockout within like the first 30 seconds. I think he even set a record like about a year and a half ago. And I didn't know about the guy. When I heard about that, of course, it's pretty impressive when you knock out a guy like really fast with one shot. You know, with the first punch you throw. You know, I guess the guy's he's good with his timing, but he's also lost 3 times. He lost against his fellow South African. He got TKO'd, but this was a long time ago.
2010.
And he's lost 3 times in the past, so he's beatable. I mean, he lost against a guy with 10 defeats, a Mexican at one point. So Donaire beat him? Of course, because he's got the experience, you know. But it's just interesting because he's 36 years old. I mean, but he is coming off a win. He is a champion regardless of how he won that via the other guy getting a back injury. But you know, it's kind of like Stu was saying, the guy threw a punch with force, and he probably did it from a long ways away because he didn't feel comfortable going in there and trading. So it's kind of, you can accredit it to Donaire, because I mean, if the guy would have just been more comfortable with himself, you never know with those injuries, but you have to give credit to Donaire.
Yeah,
you know,
Exactly. Like say, you know, if you're under pressure, then you tense up, and when you're tensed up, when you're tense and you throw a shot, that's when back muscles and all sorts go. So yeah, that's probably what happened. You know, you got to give credit.
Sorry, Stu. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying you got to give credit to Donaire. We can't. You know, it's not Donaire's fault that a guy throws a shot out of range, misses, and pulls his back muscle out. That's not Donaire's fault. Donaire was in that fight, causing all sorts of problems. Just like I thought Burnett was in the fight as well. I actually had Burnett up on the cards, but that's for another story. That's for another day. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I didn't realise Tete had lost them fights that you was talking about, Gonzalo. I didn't realise that, but Tete.
Yeah, Gonzalo, that's what I was just saying. You miss, you can fuck your back up if you swinging at something hard. Yeah, that's why I fucked my shoulder up. That's what I said right before you jumped on. But I was also gonna say, let's keep in mind Tete's got some long ass fucking arms for that size too. He's got some long, lanky ass Tommy Hearn arms down there too. So let's just throw that in there.
And he moves a lot.
Yeah,
Burnett wasn't moving that much.
Well.
Burnett was waiting for Donaire. He even got in the corner and then was just moving his head and trying to counter. Like Tete is gonna be moving and using those long arms. It's gonna be difficult, I think, for Donaire to catch the guy. He really is gonna have to go to that body.
Donaire's going to have to get in the inside and start throwing them hooks. If Donaire tries to stand at range and try and, you know, box this guy, then he's going to get outboxed again, like he did with Rigondeaux. You know, I think you've got to take his length from him. Tete is a very smart fighter, very technically good. He's a banger as well. You do not want to walk onto one of his shots. I mean, I watched him KO someone with the first punch of the fight. So he's very dangerous with that. But like I said, he can hold a shot, but Donaire can't be sitting at range. He has to rough this guy because this guy's not busy. So if you get inside and start roughing him up and throwing shots, you can nick it on the cards because he's not going to throw 50 punches around. And that's your way to do it. If you try to look slick and try to throw the flashiest shots and nick it on points like that, it's not going to happen. So that's Donaire's plan. It's not rocket science.
Yeah. Now let me just say something before Johnny Boy.
We're going to talk about the undercard too, obviously, right?
What's the undercard? You mean the other fight, Prograis?
Yeah.
No, that's tomorrow with BDA. We agreed on that.
Okay.
Yeah. So Donaire in an interview said that he's looking for to take out Tete early. I don't know why he would say that unless he knows that it's gonna be difficult for him going into the late rounds, or it's a
Well,
mind game. I don't know.
Could be
He had-
gamesmanship. It doesn't really
Yeah,
mean
yeah.
that he's going to do
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? But
I don't
to
think
what
Go on, Pete.
no, just to what you were saying earlier, Stu. I think if Nonito finds his range, gets close to him, he's going to knock him out. But yeah, he
Yeah.
can't stay at range. He has to cut off the ring and get him on the ropes, and then he'll stop him. I don't think I have no faith in Tete being able to hold Donaire's shot, and I think Donaire can take some punches from Tete. I'm not saying he could just walk through his shots either, but Tete's been out, and I've never seen Donaire hurt at 122 pounds and below. So, you know what I mean. And he was holding Nick Walter's shots okay. I mean, obviously that's a huge fucking guy, and it finally got to him. But you know, if you could take some from Nick Walters, I don't think Tete's gonna be knocking you out with one shot.
See, Donaire's not going to be taken to deep waters in this fight. This is not going to be like a real war where his age can come into. What's that noise?
I don't know.
Where his age could come into the equation in latter rounds. This ain't going to happen with Tete because he's not busy, so he's going to be able to fight at quite a comfortable pace. So I don't think the age is going to be a major factor. It's just the boxing. He needs, like me and Precise said, he needs to forget about sitting at range and just jump in that fucking pocket and just start swinging them left hooks because Tete can be caught. And when he does, you know, he has been KO'd. So that's his chance.
Yeah, I agree, Stu. That's what I say. I think because and like I say, Tete's got them long ass fucking arms. Donaire's just got to walk right into the wheelhouse and start fucking winging shit at him. I agree, bro. I totally agree. Yeah.
So if you were Zolani Tete, what would you guys advise him? Oh, if you were Zolani Tete, what would you do? Increase the pace, make it fast, make the older fighter fatigue. What do you guys think?
Throw 90% of your punches should be the jab, stick and move, and just power shots here and there.
Basically, what Rigondeaux did.
Make it a boxing match, not a war, bro.
Don't allow Donaire to set his feet, you know, because he really needs to do that. Yeah, you can still.
Yeah, exactly, Bucho. Exactly.
All right.
I got a question. Was Rigondeaux left-handed? Because Zolani is left-handed. I believe he was, right?
Yeah, he's a Southpaw, Gonzalo.
Both are Southpaws, so it's a battle of the Southpaws. This is interesting.
Yeah, but so I mean, did you think Donaire had a hard time with Rigondeaux because he was left-handed?
I don't know.
We'll see.
That's a good. Trying to remember the fight and how it played out.
Nonito beat a bunch of left-handers before he lost to Rigondeaux. I think the Japanese guy he fought was left-handed, if I'm not mistaken. I thought he fought a few left-handed guys and he did okay. I don't think the stance is the problem. I think it was the style and the skill of Rigondeaux. Yeah, and Nonito was just fucking awful in that fight.
Darchinian wasn't a lefty, was he? Now I'm trying to think.
He was.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
What about Nicholas, the Axeman Walters? Wasn't he left-handed too?
No, he was a righty, Gonzalo.
Okay, righty.
Yeah.
And Donaire was able to knock him down, right? One time?
He hurt him. I don't think he knocked him down, but he hurt him bad.
He dropped
I think he did drop.
He did drop him? Oh, okay.
He dropped Rigondeaux once too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Round 10?
Something like that, yeah.
I just remember that the Axeman was getting the better of him, but he got clipped with the left hand. And he went down, I think, Walters. So, like, to Precise's point, if he can take Zolani Tete's punch and dish it right back, I mean, you know, with that experience, we'll see if Tete can handle Donaire's power.
I think Nonito needs to have an active guard just to, you know, make Tete miss punches a lot. I think that will contribute really really well to his possible victory, and also perhaps maybe he can go inside. Not a really relentless pace, but every now and then just try to go inside, use some feints, and just bang the body.
Because the Zolani Tete is the smaller guy. I mean, he's
Yeah,
coming up from flyweight, and so Donaire's coming down. I mean, he's more like the natural. What is it? 122 pounds or 18? 118 pounds.
18.
Yeah. So I mean, earlier he'll be stronger. This is Donaire. He'll be stronger. So maybe that's kind of a good reason why he would say that he's trying to take him out early.
You know what
I
would be
mean,
cool, just for the Asian folks. What would be cool is if the finals was Donaire Inoue, and
Yeah.
then they set up something with the winner versus Rungvisai. Just saying, just for the Asian folks out there.
Hmm. Well, Rungvisai would
Donaire
have to move
versus
up, I guess.
Inoue.
Yeah.
Well,
The
they're
final
both in
could
the
be.
tournament. I mean,
Oh yeah. And I'm
Yeah,
glad that.
yeah.
By the way, for people who don't know, um, obviously the World Boxing Super Series will be shown on the DAZN in Canada and the USA. Also, the World Boxing Super Series partnered with Sky Sports and Mushroom Boxing, so they have the exclusive broadcast rights for the semifinals. What else did I write here? Yeah, so basically, you guys can watch this in the UK on Sky Sports.
Yeah. But about time Sky Sports gave us something decent to watch. I mean, that last card was atrocious. It really was. I mean, Lucas Brown, that guy, the slowest human being I've ever seen. I mean, all you got to do is paint him silver, mate, and he could play the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz. He was that fucking.
Lucas Brown looks like one of those fucking. He'd be outside bouncing at a club at one of them biker clubs, bro.
Yeah.
That's what Lucas Brown looks like to me.
He looks
It looks
like
part
one
of
of
the
them
Aryan Brotherhood.
guys. One of them guys you see, the Nazi lowrider from
Mhm.
America's toughest prisons.
Yeah.
How this guy,
You know,
the guy, how he got another fight after?
I don't know.
You remember when he
I mean,
fought Dylan White?
Eddie Hearn is starting to take the fucking piss now. He's actually becoming a circus. Eddie Hearn is becoming a fucking circus, and he put up a post. I think it was yesterday. If Brook and Khan is going to happen, it has to happen now. And everyone's like, no one gives a fuck about that fight anymore. Only you, Hearn. Get Khan. I don't want to see Khan's ass again. You think I'm going to fucking see that guy make millions of pounds after that?
Stu,
Once a quitter,
did you hear?
once a quitter, quitter.
Did you hear what he said, Stu? He said,
I'll
these
start.
all the people still want to see me fight Thurman and Pacquiao. Like,
Yeah.
no, I want to see them fight each
Yeah.
other, bitch. Shut up.
By the way, Roy Jones
No one wants
Jr.
to- to be honest with you, I'd rather see you fight Clarissa Shields or someone like that, to be honest with you. Because then
No.
at least it might be fucking, it might be a 50-50 there.
Roy Jones Jr. said that Khan needs to apologize for quitting, and he needs to tell the truth that he quit. But then again,
The guy is a scam.
yeah, but then Roy Jones, I mean, he never admitted that he was on roids, right? On PEDs or some bullshit. And then he goes, well, whatever. Then he goes and say, I'd rather go out on my feet. On the canvas than on my feet. So he's talking like he's some sort of warrior. But the reason why he's getting always knocked out, it's not because he's a warrior, it's because he's washed up, man, and he was exposed against Tarver. So, I mean,
Yeah, but at least
guy shouldn't be talking.
But Butcho, at least when he was washed up, he didn't find a way out. Khan's washed up, but he found a way out.
Listen,
I could see the cow
when
in
you're
his face. Just go
when you're
back and look
knocked
at his
out,
face. He didn't even look like a man in there. He looked like a frightened little girl that had just seen a ghost in her bedroom or something. The guy, honestly, and he'll try and con a living out of boxing until he can no longer do it. He is going to be in the ring looking like fucking Gandhi before this guy retires, man. I'm telling you, man.
no,
He's
he
going to be
needs to
75.
retire. I agree. He needs to retire.
I wish that fight would have continued because I mean it wasn't as far apart as people think it was. I mean I rewatched it and I gave Amir Khan the third round and the second could have been an even round, So he only clearly won the first and fourth, and if he would have continued in the fifth, you could make a case that they should have deducted a point off of Crawford, and he only would have been really down by 1 round.
Oh,
I mean,
It was a close fight, man. I gave Khan 2, maybe 3. It was like 2 rounds, and 1 round I thought was even. Khan was landing combinations on. He was landing 1-2s on him, and he
I
was
just gonna say
rocking
this.
his ass too.
Yeah, look,
I-
this is not
I-
the this is not the same. This is not. I'm just gonna say this real quick. This is not the same. Khan is not the. He didn't put up the same fight against Terence Crawford as he did with Canelo. Because look, when Khan fought sorry, when Khan fought Crawford, he was stepping off the line, crossing his legs and his feet, and rushing Crawford. He wasn't even fighting him behind his jab. He was rushing in, and if he would have fought Canelo like that, he would have got. I mean, he did get countered. But if he would have fought Crawford the same way, I mean, he couldn't even get him out like that. He had to take him out with a low blow.
The thing with Khan though, like he was just throwing out of range all the time. What Crawford was doing is the basic counter punching that you learn when you're a kid. That's basically take a little half a step back and counter with a backer. That's what Crawford was doing, because it was basic stuff. When a guy comes steaming in out of range, throwing straight punches, there was no closing his eyes while he was doing it as well. Like I said, his footwork was getting all mixed up, so the balance wasn't right. So whenever he missed, he was just sitting there as an open target for the counter. And that's, I can see what Precise is coming from, because Crawford, I mean, wasn't doing much. All right, he looked dangerous because he was swinging, but a lot of them weren't really landing. And I'd like Precise when we were speaking earlier before the show, I'd like Precise to basically repeat what he said about Crawford's performance, because I think people would be interested to hear that. I think we got it spot on.
I just think the guy's overrated, man. I think he's sloppy. I think he's got poor balance, and he slaps. He hits you behind the head a lot, and he pulls you down to the canvas. And I think he could be outboxed. I would favor him against someone like, Keith Thurman, but that's a good fight. You know what I mean? And Keith Thurman, I'm not high on Keith Thurman at all, but I think that's a good fight. And we were talking about Kell Brook potentially stepping up. Look, if we can't get any of these PBC boys in the ring with him, then fuck it, give me Kell Brook. I give Kell Brook a really good chance.
Yeah,
So do I.
If they can't get PBC in the ring, then yeah, Kell Brook for sure, bro. Yeah.
And let's be real, Kell Brook is a very strong puncher, so he's going to get Crawford's respect very early when he lands, like he did Porter. I mean, he had Porter on Queer Street in the first round. This guy hits hard. He hurt Golovkin. So I didn't say Golovkin was hurt, but he felt them shots. He's a decent puncher. But Kell Brook throws beautiful straight punches. And when Crawford is throwing his shot, like I said before, I've been saying it he's so wide with his shots. And he's so exposed. The straight punches are the key for Crawford.
Errol Spence beats him, man. Errol Spence beats him.
That's a very good point you just made, Stu. He got Golovkin's attention a couple times, and Golovkin's got a granite fucking jaw.
This is what I'm saying. You got to remember, Bud wasn't frightened of what was coming back from Khan. Khan doesn't really hit hard. He doesn't really.
No.
I mean, he wasn't really testing Crawford.
Neither does Benavidez. And Benavidez was hitting him a lot. And he can't fucking hit for shit. So Crawford was walking through that power and giving as good as he got, but he's not going to be able to do that with the puncher. And that's my whole thing with Terence is, like, what puncher has he fought? Posto? Yeah. You saw when he got in the ring with Posto, who can crack a little bit. His power's underrated. And you saw how he reacted once Posto cracked him, right? He didn't want to exchange with that guy at all. So Kell Brook's going to keep him honest.
Yeah, Azzy in the chat says Brits want Brook to be slaughtered by Bud. I mean,
I see that too.
The thing is, I don't care. I'm not here to protect my fighters like the Americans like to do. Get a little cushion out for them and get a blanket. If these guys get knocked out clean out in the ring, so be it. I get my money's worth because that's what I'm about. I'm not here to protect British fight. I want them to fight the best. Bud's one of the best, and I think with you, Azzy, you don't understand styles make fights. You don't understand that sometimes a certain guy that you think might not have a chance because on paper You know, it doesn't work like that. There's certain styles that can trouble certain styles. When you break Crawford down, what is going to beat Crawford is a lot of tools that Kell Brook has. Now let's not go by his last fight. He was about 150 odd pounds. Didn't train properly. Wasn't up for the fight. When you stick Bud Crawford at Madison Square Garden, I can guarantee now Kell Brook's going to come in shape. He's going to be hungry, and he's going to be a different animal. Don't write this guy off. I'm telling you that now.
Precise just said it perfectly, Stu. If you can't get none of the PBC fighters in the ring, then get Brook in there because it's a good fight.
Yeah. And, you know, like I was saying earlier, who on Terence Crawford's record does Kell Brook, this version of Kell Brook, not beat? He beats all them guys, right? So it's, what the fuck has Crawford done to people think he's a pound for pound fighter? Honestly, like, I know he's collected titles and yada, yada, fucking yada. So has Ricky Burns and so has Adrian Broner. Who has Crawford beat for you to think that him fighting Kell Brook would not be a step up, is what I'm saying. Of course it would be a step up.
Yeah, it's a good fight.
And if you think Brook ain't shit, well, that tells you everything you need to know about Terence Crawford. If Brook is a step up for him at this point in time, which he is, then that means Terence Crawford ain't fought nobody.
This dude in the chat.
No, like he's going to destroy Brook, but did he actually? You know, in the end, he did. But did he actually destroy Benavidez? Now, are you telling me Benavidez is a better fighter than Kell Brook? No, he's
Well,
the guy had no
now.
feet. He had no knee. He had no footwork. He just stood in front of him like a dummy. He couldn't. All he had is decent hands. That's all he had, Benavidez.
Yo, this dude in the chat who has the name Black Lomachenko, that is the best fucking name I've seen in 2 months, bro. That's fucking hilarious.
I gotta see that.
Black.
When Khan was rushing Crawford knew that he was coming, and he was still getting hit. Crawford knew that Amir Khan was coming forward with 2 hands, and he was still getting hit. So why couldn't Crawford, if he's such an accurate puncher, time him just like Canelo did coming in? Because he knew he was coming, but he was still landing. I mean, Crawford was landing as well, but so was Amir Khan. So they kind of went at it. And what does that tell you? I mean, he did get knocked down in the first round, but basically he didn't respect his punching power. But I mean, he could have landed a good timed him and landed a good punch. Crawford could have, but instead he hit him in the balls. So what does that tell you? That he kind of like, he was wary, kind of like when he fought another fast guy and Yorkis Gamboa, you know, that he wasn't too comfortable knowing that this guy is coming forward, you know. Instead of timing him, you know, he knew that he was coming forward and he was hitting him, but also Khan was hitting him back. So what I'm saying is he wasn't comfortable that even though he knows he's coming forward, that the guy's fast, you know, and instead of timing him and crossing him with a good punch, he hit him in the nutsack. I mean, he had an opportunity to just be patient and hit him.
Sorry, Gonzalo. I see Crawford actually shaking his head. I think it was after round 3 or 4. Well, I think he was actually getting frustrated with his performance. I don't think he was very happy with his performance. Even in the press conference afterwards, he just looked a bit down. It wasn't like a Terence Crawford that I'm used to seeing after a fight. So I don't think he even. I bet if we ask him to rate that performance, he'd probably give himself a 6 out of 10 because it wasn't a fantastic performance. I mean, if we're going to judge Lomachenko's performance against Crawford's, yes, Terence Crawford fought a better fight. I suppose Khan's better than Khan, but if we're going by pound for pound. Last performances, you can only judge by last performance. Lomachenko's was a lot better.
Agreed.
Somebody said, sorry.
No pause said in the chat. No pause said in the chat. I can't give Lomachenko pound for pound until he beats Mikey. Mikey doesn't want to fight anybody, dog. He does not want to fight anybody. Fuck.
Why is Mikey the test? Since when is Mikey a pound for pound fighter? Who the fuck has he beaten? Who has Mikey beaten? Like who has he? Like honestly, who has he beaten? Salido? Oh right, the guy that beat fucking Loma. Yeah, I get it.
I have to say one thing about the punch. About the punch that Crawford Amir Khan got hit by. I mean, I don't like totally. I'm with the fact that he didn't take his 5 minutes, and you know the fight could have gone on. But that punch regardless if it was square on the nuts or on the side, you know, where that little vein runs on your leg, it's still gonna hurt. With them big ass gloves, if he hits you in that general area, the punch is gonna distribute through that whole area. And it doesn't have to be square on the nutsack for that to hurt. I mean, obviously the
Hey,
punch
listen,
did hurt him. He could have
yeah, but
continued,
fucking
maybe.
hell, Riddick Bowe got hit 5 times by a heavyweight in Galata. And I mean, monster punches as well, uppercuts. The guy carried on. There's no excuses for what Amir Khan did. He looked over to Virgil, and he's going to use Virgil. I bet you any money. When he brings his buck out, it's all going to be Virgil's fault. This guy can never blame himself. And it was embarrassing watching his. It was embarrassing watching his interviews afterwards, telling me about people still want to see me in big. No, man. And the only fight I want to see him in again is with Canelo rematch. That's the only fight I want to see again.
I saw the abrasions that he had on his face, and they look like a claw, like a 2-finger claw. And the same abrasions he had on his nose and on his cheek, he had on his left shoulder, and they were like, it was like a claw mark. So obviously, when Khan was rushing in, he couldn't time him and counter him with the good shot because he was lacing him. Right? It had to do with the laces. You got 2 grooves in between the glove. I don't know, but they just look interesting. They didn't look like punches. It looked like
he had scrapes all over his face because Terence Crawford is a slapper. He throws wild swinging shots that don't hit knuckle first. I'm talking about his crooked punches. His jab is good, and the backhand is pretty good. But when he throws crooked shots, they're sweeping and they tend to scrape you or slap you behind the head rather than hit with knuckles first. And one last thing about Terence Crawford. He's a good fighter. He's an elite fighter, but he is also easily the most overrated fighter in boxing today. Jose Benavidez Jr. was chasing his ass all the way down from 135 through 140. Then he got shot in the knee. He was off for something like 2 years. He wasn't even ready to fight the dude, right? At 147 pounds, he gave him hell. They protected Terence Crawford from Jose Benavidez fucking Jr. That's how protected this guy is. Like, he is so fucking overrated. I wish they would make the Spence fight tomorrow. All my money's on Spence. Easy. I'm taking all of your money, man.
Yeah, because I said the same thing. I said before this fight was even made, I'll put Terence Crawford ahead of Spence in the pound for pound list for what he's done in boxing. But if them two get in the ring, I'm picking Errol Spence. I think Spence knocks Crawford out. I'll be honest with you. I think he does.
That jab is going to bust him the fuck up, man. Spence's jab is... I'm not trying to hype the guy up too much, but like outside of Golovkin and maybe a few other fighters, Spence's jab is one of the best punches in boxing. Like, rewatch... I know it's just Lamont Peterson, but rewatch that fight with Peterson and look how fast, straight, and direct that jab is. What's fucking Crawford going to do with that thing? He's going to eat them jabs all night, man. And then the left hand will follow, and it's not going to look pretty for Terence Crawford. I'm telling you that right now.
When Mikey kind of became a little bit offensive or came forward, well, Spence, I wasn't impressed with his reactions. He took a step back. Like, he didn't want to get hit. He's afraid of getting hit. There's rumors that he's being fucking sparked in sparring. So, I don't know. What if...
You think he's got a weak chin?
I don't know. Maybe because he didn't seem that confident against Mikey. I don't know why, because he was fighting a way smaller guy. So, I mean,
yeah,
Crawford,
but he said he wanted to outbox him. To me, I don't know. He could have a shit chin, but to me, it looked like he just wanted to not get hit. He wanted to not get hit. Basically, that's what he was doing.
Yeah,
like when Loma fought Rigondeaux, because he's fighting a smaller guy. He put his boxing skill on display. He didn't want to just bulldoze him down because he wouldn't get any credit. So I think Spence was doing the same thing. But hey, maybe he got no chin. We'll see.
Yeah,
you know what? I see where Precise is coming from. I'm just kind of fed up with the whole Spence hype, so I shouldn't let that weigh on who I would pick in that fight. But like, at the same time, I'm just not giving this dude 1,000 brownie points for beating on a little fucking lightweight he couldn't even knock out, bro. Like I say, when somebody moved up and fought Lomachenko, he made him quit like a bitch. When somebody moved up and fought Canelo, he knocked him the fuck out. When somebody moved up and fought Triple G, he broke his face. So how many fucking brownie points are people going to give Errol Spence for going the distance with Mikey? I'm not saying anybody here, but yeah.
Well, this is why I've got Crawford above him. Well, on the pound for
Yeah,
pound,
yeah,
so I ain't got error.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because Crawford's a fantastic fighter. But I'm here to fucking break down what I see. And I can't sit there and pretend there's not things that this guy, is doing wrong, and there's not holes there to be exposed. Precise has seen it. Other people have seen it. The shots are wide. It was not a great performance for Terence Crawford. I don't think it was. I mean, I don't think he was great against Benavides until he got Benavides. When Crawford gets you hurt, he's usually straight in and he stops you. But even against Khan, he sort of like he struggled to stop Khan. And a man like Khan, you should be getting him out of there when you've got him hurt. I thought all round he knows he wasn't that good. He knows it was a poor performance. That's all I have to say. I don't even have to say it.
Stu, Benavides was a disgusting cherry pick. That dude, do you think he did any road work in camp? That dude wasn't running in camp. He had no stamina. He did really well early on in the fight, and then he just gasped because he wasn't running in camp on that fucking knee. He had no stamina, and he still made him look bad. That's red flags all day, man. Red flags all day.
Because that knee was given away even early on. Even early on, that knee when he was trying to plant his feet and get power behind his shots, or he just couldn't do it because the knee was giving way. It was jolting. You could see it. So I agree. I agree, Pete. This guy he's not done road works. This guy probably hasn't even been on the treadmill. He's just basically doing pad work and
sparring and shit,
sparring and so on. Yeah.
He got shot in the knee by Furio from Sopranos.
Yeah, he got hit late on that fight with the punch he didn't see, but also he couldn't plant his feet well. When he got hit, that knee gave away. As you can see, it's not the lead, it's the trail foot. You can see that knee. He had no spring on it. He just basically it just wilted. Yeah, that back leg.
All right. So, do you guys? Well, let's get some Donaire Tete predictions, and then we can close this fucking subject. So let's start.
Yeah, because then we can go on to the Ortiz subject.
Yeah.
I want to have a go. I want to have a go at fat bastard.
All right, Stu, go ahead. Your prediction for Donaire Tete.
Who, me?
Yep.
Cool. This is a hard one. A very hard one for me. I'm going to go Tete points. Tete points. Yeah.
So unanimous.
Yeah, unanimous decision. Yeah.
All right. Who's next? Johnny Boy.
Who did Tete lose to anybody? I forgot.
Some South African guys. I don't even know who he lost to. Gonzalo, who did he lose to?
Metalani.
Ah.
Yeah.
The guy that Nonito got that controversial stoppage over. He busted his eye.
Oh, okay.
This was a very long time ago, though.
Yeah.
10 years ago.
Yeah. Fuck.
Come on.
This is a tough one to pick. I'll say, because it really kind of depends what kind of fight Donaire is going to have. But I'll say Donaire stops him late just to fuck around.
You gotta give it a round. Come on.
Give you a round?
Yeah.
11.
11. Ooh. By the way, in the chat, everybody, Uncle Burnt apostrophe says Donaire KO. The Quacks, Donaire by KO. Sondalo 3, Donaire KO 10. So, Donaire knockout. Everybody's saying Donaire knockout. Wow. All right. Who's next? Precise. Yeah, go ahead, Stu.
For me...
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Stu.
No, I didn't say anything.
No, I think.
Okay, well, let me go then. Look, for me, I know Nonito only had 2 or 3 fights at bantamweight, but for me, that was the most devastating version of Donaire. I don't know if you guys remember the Montiel knockout or what he did to Sidorenko. I mean, as soon as he was touching up that guy, it was 2 or 3 rounds. He made his face look like a fucking, I don't even know what, man, hamburger. So for me, 118 was Nonito's best weight as far as his physical strength. And I think he's going to win by come from behind, devastating knockout in the 8th round, TKO, something along those lines. He's going to put a beating on dude, and they're either going to jump in, stop the fight, or Maybe he'll even sleep him. I think he's gonna get outboxed early a little bit, and he's gonna, step on the gas and get him out of there. Basically, I don't think Zolani Tete can handle the power, the pressure, the strength, and I think Nonito's gonna have to walk through some shots, take a few good ones, look a little bad here and there, but ultimately I think he'll mow him down.
Can you see Donaire winning a decision, or do you think he's gonna be losing rounds and then just catch?
He can win a decision, but Zolani is, the young gun, so they're not gonna give Nonito any benefit of the doubt in that fight. I think he can win legitimately, but I don't think he can outbox him like that where they can't rob him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
No, Paul said he's a come from behind type of guy like Vito.
God.
All right. So I got your prediction. Stoppage, round 8. Who's next? Gonzalo.
5th round TKO, Donito Donaire.
Donaire. 10th. All right. Is Pavel still there? I think he bounced.
He had to go.
Oh, okay.
He said he had to go and get some sleep.
All right. So we got all the predictions. Moving on. Well, let me just read some what people are saying in the chat. Let's see. Before we move to the Ortiz topic, Rasclot is going after Precise. Listen, I'm gonna open the phone line so you guys can call in and state your grievances. Nopal is saying now that. Oh, you read that already. Hold on. The Shepherd Sons, Donaire KO, Asi Ortiz Dog Donaire. Okay. Jason Bourne, titties by unanimous decision. I guess he means Tete. Nicole E says Tete on the 8th. All right. Enough predictions. Let's move on. So, Luis Ortiz declined the Eddie Hearn offer. He said that Hearn is lowballing me. That's right. Now, just so you guys understand, Luis Ortiz got $500,000 when he fought Deontay Wilder. All right, and this is a guy, Luis Ortiz and his team, who claim that Al Heyman takes care of their fighters. Yet he paid this guy $500,000. So, how much did Eddie Hearn offer? Hold on. All right. Thank you, Nicole E. He says, Tete 8th round, Ortiz beats Price. Can 5-minute recovery? Is a question. What do you mean 5-minute recovery? Nice. Thank you for the donation. All right.
Still have at it, buddy.
Yeah, go ahead. $5,000. That's what he got. $500,000 is what he got against Wilder. Apparently, he was satisfied with that. So,
even if he got offered $3 million, it's got to be more than it's got to be better than $500,000. I mean, Ortiz is a sort of guy that he wants to be the world champion, but when you give him the opportunity, he's not really up for it. Sort of thing. It's the same with Wilder. I mean, that fight, it took ages to fucking make, didn't it? I mean, he got busted for a ped, and apparently he was going to pull out on the night of the Wilder fight. He was actually going to pull out, but then decided to have a go. So I don't know if this guy wants it. He's probably trying. I think Al Heyman is having a big say in this. I mean, they all seem to be scared of Al, and Al's probably told him, "There's no way you're going to be, stepping in and saving this card." So. That's what I think. I think 2 reasons. Ortiz just don't want it. I think he knows he's an old man. Does he really want to get in with a lion like Joshua? I mean, we all know what happened when the old lion, when the old lion comes across the new lion, the young lion. He gets run out of his turf, and I think that's what would happen to Ortiz. So, yeah, I don't know. That's like I said. We're in an era now of boxing where it's impossible to get these guys to fucking fight each other. They've got so many excuses. If it's not promotion reasons, it's manager reasons, it's network reasons. It's I've just had enough of fucking boxing, man. This Joshua card is gone to shit. There's no one left. I mean, they're talking about Andy Ruiz and Hunter. I mean, is this the same Hunter that Usyk bashed around the ring about 3 or 4 years ago? I mean, come on, do we really want?
Yeah, this is bad.
Do you know what
By
I
the
mean?
way,
Come on.
before we continue, Foul Pole Boxing, thank you for your contribution. He says, when are you talking about Prograis against Relic? That will be tomorrow. So tomorrow we're going to be talking about that. Actually, Mr. BDA is going to be doing that show.
Let me give my 2 cents on
Go
the
ahead.
whole AJ Ortiz thing real fast, because I'm about to go have a smoke. But anyways, okay, now I'm not gonna get into a whole thing about these jagoffs, but how many fucking videos have there been about how AJ was so scared of the 93-year-old boogeyman who was whacking people in the 40s for Meyer Lansky in Havana? He's ducking it. AJ's ducking him. He's ducking him. He's ducking him. He's ducking him. So then you get the opportunity thrown at you. And I guarantee you it was fucking 3 times as much than he got for the Wilder fight. So you finally get that chance and you turn it fucking down. No excuses. I don't want to hear about it. He's fucking 96. Like I say, I don't know if his blood pressure's up, his knees are weak from old age, or he's just flat out scared. But there ain't no kind of excuses for that shit. Period.
Yeah, there's something weird happening here. Again, he got paid $500,000. He was satisfied with that payday when he fought Wilder. Now, apparently, he's being lowballed when I'm pretty sure Eddie Hearn didn't offer him less than $500,000. I'm pretty sure he offered him more than $1 million. There's rumors around that he got offered like $5 million. So what the fuck? What's the problem? What the fuck's the problem? Why do you want to fight? You know what? Maybe he's some fucking he's some PEDs.
It's just to get one on Eddie Hearn and Joshua. It's not about wanting to fight. It's to get one on Eddie Hearn and Joshua. That's how petty boxing's become. Where they'd rather not. They'd rather miss out on $5 million just to get one on Eddie Hearn. And that's how it seems, man.
I don't know. Maybe Al Heyman told Luis Ortiz, you know what? Listen, I'm gonna offer you a Wilder fight in late 2019. Don't go over there. Don't help them out. Because, of course, they want Eddie Hearn to fail, right? So he probably did that.
Probably, Bucho.
All right, you guys keep talking about this. Keep talking. I'm going to start the phone lines. So keep on going.
Yeah, no one ever discredit Anthony Joshua's resume. He can't get a fight. I don't want to hear any of you fucking clowns discredit Anthony Joshua at all. You know, for me, if Anthony Joshua goes on a fight, have a Klitschko sort of reign, where he just fights a few up and comers here and there, then so be it. I don't even care if he fights these guys anymore because none of them want it anyway. So it's Fury's probably the only one that would fucking step up. But even now,
it's beating a dead dog at this point. Still, the guys aren't fighting, and that's all it is too. And like I say. I don't want to get into a whole thing about these fucking goofy channels, but like they've literally pumped out hundreds of videos talking about how AG's scared of the so-called boogeyman Ortiz, and then you get the fucking offer and you turn it down like fuck off, bro. Come on.
If Joshua can't fight Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury because of boxing politics, and he's not taking this fight with 6-week notice with Ortiz is not taking this fight with Joshua, then maybe Ortiz is thinking, well, I can take another tune-up, and people do really want to see him fight Ortiz because they kind of want to gauge his performance against Joshua as compared to the one with Wilder. So if it doesn't happen now, it could possibly happen in the next fight. And he's probably thinking that he can get a lucrative
press 1
deal.
I don't know.
How many
Your
fights
show will go live in 5
left
seconds.
top level?
4, 3, 2,
One fight?
1.
One fight, yeah.
I mean, he looked like trash against nobody in his last fight. He's about to get knocked out by a fucking journeyman, and he could forget about $400 for $400,000 paydays. Like he ain't gonna be getting that.
If you're a 50-year-old man from Cuba that has been fighting all your life for
You're
peanuts,
too generous, Stu. You're too generous.
well, yeah. Well, so if you're a 60-year-old man from Cuba, yeah, and you've been fighting all your life, right, for peanuts, and you're at the end of your career, and someone comes along with, say, even if it's $3 million for your last sort of fucking big hurrah, then why wouldn't you take it and sail off into the sunset and retire? That's because he's going to get knocked out. There's no way Luis Ortiz was beating Joshua. He's getting stopped badly, but he's going to make a lot of money for doing it. So I just don't get it. These boxers, do they really want? I mean, the PBC. I mean, they're going to ruin boxing. They are, because their fighters are just not prepared to fight anyone that's not part of their promotion, and it's just.
And I don't think he's officially with PBC, is he? Ortiz. I thought he was Caribe promotion.
Well, he fights. He's with Heyman, any. So if you're with Heyman, you're with the PBC. Basically, there's no other way around it. Heyman don't have any fighters that are fighting under DAZN, does he? You know. So
yeah, the problem too with all these tune-up fights is that you're gonna step down the level of your game, because we all know iron sharpens iron, and if you keep just putting everything off and taking tune-ups in the meantime, how are you gonna show up when you really have to step it up to the level that you were fighting before, even if you are good? This is what's happening, Stu, to the PBC fighters. In the meantime, how are you?
The dude is like 50 years old, man. He just had a really, well, not just, but not that long ago, he had a very tough fight where he got knocked out by a huge puncher. He's done, man. The man is done. He ain't worth a good goddamn anymore. And, you know, they took his PEDs away from him. Luis Ortiz is going to get beaten by a nobody. Watch.
yeah.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
I'll tell you what. If Ortiz fought the Polish guy, Konaki, I'd be picking the Polish guy to beat Ortiz.
Yeah, because they're younger. They're younger.
Yeah.
Him and Reese are just they're in their prime and their their lives.
Yeah,
They're young men with good engines.
yeah. Like some people in the chat saying Andy Ruiz sleeps Ortiz. I mean, yeah, Ortiz is like I said, is past his best.
Yeah, it's like when I heard you guys talking about it on this platform about the big mystery, how Ortiz was rated so high if he never was. I just found that very interesting how nobody else can see that. Because even when he was in the amateurs, I've heard Precise talk about him that he never really won. He lost to Povetkin, and there's other guys outshining him from his home country. And he never won anything really big in the Olympics. Well, in the professionals, the only big fight he's had was a loss to Wilder, and the Brian Jennings fight that was his claim to fame.
Yeah.
But other than that, he was considered the boogeyman. But that's just the rumor around the mill with people, the hype train, what people were speaking.
Yeah,
but other than that,
yeah, it's coming from.
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting, but it's coming from America. No one else is saying he's the boogeyman.
Start
The
your show
Americans.
now. Press 1. To hear important instructions, press 2.
Good point, Stu.
Since
Good
it
point,
appears
Stu.
you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
That fucking bitch is doing right. It makes Wilder's resume look better, doesn't it? So they've got to big this guy up. But this guy came to the UK.
Hey guys.
This guy came to the UK and stunk the joint out with two performances. He started with Matchroom with Eddie Hearn. Had 2 fights with Matchroom, stunk the joint out in both of them. And he can't go back to America, and they're still calling him the boogeyman. I mean, it's just fucking comedy gold. It really is.
Yeah. And if you were the boogeyman based off of nothing 5 years ago, how are you still the boogeyman at 41 years old? I mean, quote unquote, if he is 41.
Hello.
Based off of what? From the beginning, it's just a big mystery.
Guys.
It's that win he got back in the day on the fucking David and Goliath undercard, man.
Yeah. So a guy that's subsequently been knocked out by Oscar Rivas now?
Fucking Noah
the
built
Brian-
one when
Brian
they were on
Jennings?
the arc.
Yeah. So Brian Jennings, he ain't doing too good either, right?
Built a wig for him on the David and Goliath undercard.
Yeah.
You guys can hear me?
I keep hearing someone talking. Is someone on the line? Oh, we got Recognize on the
Yeah,
line.
it's me. No, guys, can you hear me? I'm on the
Nah,
phone.
You sound
Butcho,
like you're in a
muffled.
helicopter. You
Yeah.
sound like you're
Yeah.
really far in a chopper
No,
or
do I sound
something.
Wait.
I think
All right,
BDA's
hold on. Do I
drowning.
sound better now?
Shout out to Stuart Little. He's from my country.
Wait, do
you
I
know.
sound better now?
Oh,
You
excuse
guys
me.
hear
I'm
me?
what do I call it?
Nah, Butcho, you're muffled.
You guys hear me or not? It sucks, huh?
You're better now, but you.
Pucho, I hear you, but you sound like
Yeah?
you're drowning.
Fuck. All right. Because that's all right.
No, you
all right,
sound
that's
good.
fine.
You sound good, bro.
All right. I'm using a phone. I'm trying the phone line things here. So, anyways. All right, we're gonna take some phone calls. I'll be back on the Hangouts.
Recognize. So, what's your opinion about this Ortiz duck, then, or is it just good business from Ortiz? No.
It's a fantasy. Come on, man. Look at AJ. Look at the body frame. Look at the youth. He's gonna be scared of this fat old man. Are you
Jesus. Have some respect.
serious? This fat diabetes old man that's about to die. Seriously.
Jesus.
I'm not. Listen, I told you guys. I think he's remarkable, Ortiz, for a guy who's for damn sure at least my age, 45, 46. Okay, I think he's remarkable for a guy that age that he can box.
Yeah.
You know, but let's be serious. Like, what the hell what does AJ fear of a fat old man that can't take steroids no more? You can't do that. Okay, it's true. Like let's not be nice. These guys are retarded that think he's a boogeyman.
Dude,
Okay,
Yeah.
I was listening
these
to.
are guys.
Sorry,
I'm
bro.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was
Go ahead.
listening
No, go ahead.
to. You reminded me of something because I was listening to Del Boy's live stream the other day, and they were saying Del Boy was saying how Luis Ortiz looks like he stinks.
Yes, he does. He's got that
You know,
old man.
like the old man stink.
100%, 100%, bro. He has when he talks, his face, his body, he has no youth left in him. This old man ain't scaring nobody. He's not scaring nobody. Okay,
He looks like he smells like vitamins and piss. Bro.
Yeah. Like, come on, man. Like I said, man, I say he's remarkable for a 46-year-old. You know what I'm saying? But he's not. When you look at Anthony Joshua. Just look at him.
This fat son of a bitch. This fat son of a bitch is gonna call us all out. He's fat. He's fat.
It's like some fat dude telling some diesel guy, you know, he's old. Yo, I know you're scared of me. And then when they finally meet, the diesel guy just smacks the shit out of him. Shut up. Go home, old man, before you get hurt.
Yeah, but have you noticed though? Since he hurt Wilder, he hasn't hurt anyone since. He's just not even looked like hurting anyone. So
what's the last guy he fought? What was his name?
Christian Hammer.
Christian Hammer dropped him. That was a knockdown.
Oh yeah.
Go look at it. That was a knockdown, bro.
He went 12 rounds
Like I
with
said-
yeah.
Like I say, bro. Ortiz fought me in his last fight. The only thing that was missing is a fucking cigarette hanging out of his mouth, bro. That's who Ortiz fought.
Listen,
He fought me.
Ortiz looked washed in his last fight. He was getting his skinny ass legs were, you know, first of all, he got a fat upper body, so it doesn't sit well with his old legs that are real slim. On top of that,
That's so true.
I mean, who fears this bum? This old bum? Who fears him?
Yo, no, he's the second
Wilder
most
fans.
skilled heavyweight in the world behind Wilder.
That's
That's right.
because he almost knocked out Wilder.
Yeah.
I mean, Wilder's a bum.
Yeah.
That's why he almost knocked out Wilder. Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
He's a bum.
about 3 years ago, I made a video saying exactly the same about this guy. Before he even lost to Wilder, this guy showed me nothing. And they were talking about this guy like he'd stopped Joshua in a round. I mean, it's a joke.
Dude, this guy used to play second place to Orlando Solis. I think that's his name.
I thought it was Perez. I thought it was Perez, wasn't it?
Mike
Oleander
Perez.
Solis, yes.
Orlando
I thought-
Solis used to, Stu. Orlando Solis used to take this boy to school. Okay.
I always thought it was Perez that was above him.
Well, I mean, he
Oleander
probably was.
Solis.
He probably was.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, Orlando Solis used to school this dude all the time.
Yeah, and this is the guy that got knocked out by Klitschko, right? Oleander Solis, like in one round or two.
Yeah. Boy, listen, he almost Klitschko, Vitali. It was Vitali he fought. Excuse me. Vitali hit him with a check hook, I believe it was. I think it was with his left. I forget, okay? Bro, he almost killed Solis with that one shot. He literally almost killed him, bro. Solis looked like he needed oxygen. You know, that intro that you guys have for Stu. Like, I told you he was going to go, you know. Like, yeah, that almost happened to him with a check left hook, I think it was.
That was him. Stu's intro.
Okay, yeah, that was him. Solis almost died. Like, this dude,
He almost died? Yeah.
Listen, if AJ loses to a bum like that, this heavyweight division is washed up, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's so sad, man.
He's a bum. So Ortiz would have been blown out the box from the beginning against guys like Klitschko. He would have not even maybe 3 rounds. Okay, maybe he goes 3 rounds. This fat bum, somebody scared of him. Get the fuck out of here, man.
He's fat.
Is he PBC?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Al Heyman doesn't want to help Eddie Hearn. He'll do anything.
Gonzalo, all the bums,
it's business. It's
all
business,
the undefeated bums who fight other bums are on PBC for the most part. Gonzalo, yeah.
Mucho, this is exactly what this is.
You know what?
You just said it.
Okay,
he doesn't want to help him out. Like, he doesn't want to, you know, like, and then on top of that, he doesn't want to get Ortiz paid. Let me tell you something, man. To deal with a guy like Al Heyman, this is why I hate boxing. This is one of the reasons why. And this been happening. Okay, as far as I know, it's been happening for a long time. This is one thing I hate. I would. This is why I respect guys like Jay Prince. I would take a guy like Jay Prince if I'm going to deal with Al Heyman. All right, you know why I'm taking Jay Prince, right?
Well, he's gonna get you the best. He's gonna pay you.
He's gonna get. No, I mean, I'm not saying he's a great manager, but he's gonna tell Al Heyman that, look, you can't fuck with my boy like that. You're gonna have problems.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
you're gonna have problems. That's. I mean, do you want to walk around comfortable, or do you want to walk around like not knowing what might happen?
Yeah,
right. Like, yeah, that's you got to deal with people like Prince to deal with a fucking idiot like Al Heyman. You just do.
Yeah, that's true.
I was gonna say also, could it be that they don't want Ortiz to get exposed? And what I mean is, if he fights right now, he looks like a boogeyman. Apparently, to some people, he had that close fight with Wilder.
Retarded people.
Yeah,
retarded
but now he goes and fight AJ and gets sparked like easily. What's that gonna do to his value? To Ortiz's value is gonna decline. And what's gonna happen with Wilder's value? Because he's living off of that fucking Ortiz fight as well. Like he says, big win.
That's his whole Bucho. That's his whole fucking resume is that Ortiz win because he lost to Fury.
Before that, it was Steve Earn. Can you even believe this? Can you believe that? It was fucking Steve Earn.
You mean Steve Earn, who was eating fucking sour cream and onion chips on the couch for 2 fucking years and decided to come get a check real fast?
Yeah.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
I don't understand why Ortiz wouldn't take this fight. I don't understand. He keeps saying he has a little girl that's sick and he needs the money. Well, here you go, man.
Yeah, well, that's beautiful. You fight for your kid or whatever, but, there ain't no fucking excuse. As far as him being the boogeyman and all this other bullshit. That's
listen, man, all these guys, look, man, if you got a sick kid, I respect that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
And like, you got to do what you got to do. But stop with this, my kid is sick and this and this and that. Yo, you're a fighter, dude, okay? You're a fighter. You're supposed to get paid big money, all right? Don't get mad because you signed a stupid deal where you can't maximize your money. Now, I don't know what AJ offered him, but I have to think that it's more than $500,000 against fucking Wilder, right? Because look, reality, fantasy versus reality. In fantasy world, these idiots that support Wilder think that it's at least they must think that they get paid the same for them to keep saying 50-50, right? They must think that the paycheck is the same. Like paycheck income is drawn by what you bring in. I mean, that's just the way it goes, especially in boxing, right? They're not going to give $35 million to AJ and stay broke. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would they do that for AJ? What's that going to do for them? So why is it? So in reality, okay, that's fantasy. In reality, the reality is that you have a chance to beat the guy at heavyweight. No, Wilder is nobody in the head. He's just a title holder. That's it. He just got a belt. He got schooled by a fat Fury, a guy who hasn't fought he hasn't fought real competition in 3 years going into that fight.
A fat Fury coming off of fucking cocaine.
And outboxed him. Look, this is how bad it was. He actually drops Fury, and when Fury gets back up, beats his ass.
Yeah, that's how I see it.
Exactly.
That's how I see it. So many people. Yeah.
I was supposed to buy into this fantasy world that these stupid, retarded, suburban kids that claim they're from the ghetto, I'm supposed to buy into their fantasy? No, man.
These Boxing ego.
Yeah, like he's one of them. Like he's this dude is soft. I look, man, I don't got nothing against him, but he couldn't. Like I seen him on video, man. I think I kicked this boy one time in his leg. He's going to the hospital. Like, get the fuck up out of here. About? Ego, whatever the fuck that.
The
light
Johnny boy,
Arab looking motherfucker, whatever his name is.
Johnny boy made a video about him.
Oh
yeah. Well, listen. What I'm saying is, look, these guys live in a fantasy world. Reality versus fantasy is two different things. Ortiz, I hope he gets a Wilder fight, but what's he gonna get for a Wilder fight in the second fight? He got $500K, right? What's he gonna get this one? $750? What if AJ's offer was $2 million?
No, this is what I think. This is what I think. He probably didn't take the fight because, like, Al Heyman is probably telling him, or whoever his advisor is, look, we can take 2 more stay busy fights, and we'll pay you like $1 million a piece for every stay busy fight. So in the end, you can wait out for a big fight and cash in also on two fights in between.
And then get Wilder.
Kind of like what Dillian White is doing, but Dillian White's different. Dillian White's making a lot of money, and he's just a contender. But basically, where Ortiz, the reputation that he's built off the Wilder fight and just the hype train is kind of making him get these potential big paydays for these smaller fights, in between fights. Like when I mean big paydays for smaller fights, I mean like $1 million for stay busy. For what I suspect, I really don't know. But in the end, you get the big fight, after 2 fights, and you cash in on that one also.
Bucho, the kid, that fucking kid was talking shit to, I grew up with him, and the funny thing is about that, bro, like I say, I've sparred with the kid. He's like my brother, bro. He's like my brother. I've sparred with him a fucking dozen times, dog. Like, and he's done MMA and all that other bullshit, and he goes saying like I was gonna whip his ass. And he's like, because he called me up, and I didn't say this. This is what he said. He's an Indian. He's allowed to talk like this. But he's like, who's this bitch ass nigga fucking boxing ego? Woo. And I'm like, he's just a punk, dog. I was like, why? And he's like, he was like, he's like, man, he was all talking a bunch of shit to me. And I was like, oh, all right, well, fuck him. I'll roast his ass. I don't care. I don't care. He fucking like I say, it's funny to me because my homeboy would beat the fucking boot into the fucking cement because I know he would because I fought him and shit before. Like I grew up with this kid. We went to jail together. We fucking, slept at each other's houses when we didn't have nowhere to go when we were kids and shit. Like, nah, I can't have that. You talking about him like that, bro. It ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, don't bother with this guy. I mean, this guy's a joke. He knows he's a fucking joke, man.
Yeah,
with his sunglasses and beard, he doesn't say shit anyways. Oh man, I don't.
I roasted all them cats before, Bucho, but like now, You want to talk shit like about my boy like that? Like this kid give me somewhere to live when I was out on the fucking street and shit before. Like nah, if I see Ego's punk ass now, he's getting the fucking mess slapped out of him, and I promise on my mother's head that's what's gonna happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way,
Yeah.
this is what I heard about going back to Ortiz. Apparently, on Facebook, he was asking for $10 million to fight AJ. And apparently, hold on. And somebody in the chat mentioned this, and I saw it as well in somewhere. Yeah, everybody's saying it. The offer from Eddie Hearn supposedly was $8 million. He turned down $8
So wait a
million.
second. You turned down $8 million. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's pretty stupid.
So he's giving this welfare recipient more money than he ever deserved, right? This charity, this charity case, and he's saying, "No, that wasn't enough."
Yeah, well, he was saying that he was being lowballed.
These dudes are ducking AJ. They're ducking him.
$8 million. You don't want $10 million? I don't care if you're gonna get knocked out. I mean, come on, man. I can't. I don't understand. There's something else.
Give me $1 million. Give me $1 million. I'll
recognize
fight.
There has to be something else. There's something going on we don't know. We don't know about. Because,
well, Bucho, I think you touched on it before. This is about. Look, you touched on it. You said that they don't want to do any favors for Eddie Hearn. So let's say if they did, it's going to cost them a pretty penny. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to have to dish out. So in other words, I'm doing business with somebody who doesn't like me. And he's like, okay, you really want this job? How about when, let's say I'm used to getting 40% of whatever, whatever we generate. And he says, you're going to have to take 20%.
Yeah.
So basically, what you're saying.
So basically, I'll be working for less. In other words, so that's what they're doing to AJ.
Yeah, but also what
it's got to come out of AJ's pocket, right? If you ask him for more money, it's got to come out of AJ's pocket.
Yeah, but kind of what are you implying? Recognize that it's not up to Ortiz, to the people that are handling him, that are telling them no, you can't do that.
If it was up to Ortiz, this poor dude, man, I really feel bad for him. He would take the $8 million. He never made no $8 million.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. This guy's been fighting for a couple of $100K a fight. He's $8 million is wonderful. It just makes business sense for him to take $8 million to fight AJ. And you go in there and you give it your best shot, and you win some fucking how, shit.
It was
doubling up that money now.
I'm on boxing
scene.
Jorge. What?
I need some of Recognizer's Cuban coffee right now, bro. I'm tired of this bitch.
Yeah. Jorge Caramanate, whatever. Jorge Caramanate from Date Promotions. All right, I guess that's Ortiz promotional company. The guy said, after 5 days of bullshit, we declined all of Hearn's lowball offers. So there were multiple offers, and we're tired of his games. And then he goes on to say, I know the magnitude of the fight. I wasn't going to let Eddie Hearn bully me, especially when I know they need Luis and I. Okay, I mean, who else could they really have to fight? And then he goes on to say, and the public was willing to pay for it. Basically, he says that they needed Luis Ortiz, which is fucking bullshit, man. What else is he saying?
Delusional.
I'm sick of them fucking clowns. Sick of these entitled fighters that think the world owes them a fucking favour and they're living. Let's rid these guys of the sport, man. Just don't buy their fights. Don't tune in. Let's fucking see them out. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's the only way. That's the only way we're going to deal with these fighters, man. Just don't buy their pay-per-views. Let them suffer, because and that's the only thing I can think of. Because these guys are not taking fights. I mean, it's not just the heavyweights either. Go all the way down the divisions. and you get the same. Thank God for these World Boxing Super Series. They're the only guys that have actually stepped up to the plate to fight the best in their division.
Yeah, look, that business guy that you just mentioned, Bucho,
Yeah.
and a whole bunch of fucks. You know, they're not. Maybe it's not just that they're good business people. Maybe they're just ignorant, casual boxing fans, and they really don't know too much about the sport. And they sound like, you know, they're waiting out to like do something big, but in the end, they might not even know what they're doing. You know, and we some of us can get that, but the casual fan base, they'll probably eat that shit up. But at the same time, the people that are leading the horse to water, they don't know shit. Maybe that's what it is.
You think so? I don't know.
Because yeah,
Al Heyman is not that smart when it comes to promoting, putting together like boxing stars. He's just not. I mean, look at all the examples.
Yeah, look, these guys, their prime is like passing by. The Charlos, even Spence hasn't really done anything. You know, Aram is being very vocal. I mean, this is an old man that probably doesn't even have but 5 or 10 more years in his life. He wants to make this shit happen. So basically, look, he's trying to make these co-promotions, and one side is not willing to. And in the meantime, these guys' prime is wasting away, and they're not gonna come back later in their lives and put up the performance that they would be able to put up now. So what does that basically tell you? That they're not taking advantage of the fights happening. Why? Because they're so smart? No, basically they're ignorant and casuals. What else could be the reason?
Yeah, but the fighters are ignorant as well. The fighters are fucking ignorant as well. They're the ones putting up with it. You know, like I said, their best years are just sliding away, and their bank balance is going down. You know, you got to take in boxing. You get very few opportunities to be at the top, and you have to take them when they're offered to you. You can't just. I'll give it a miss. It's not like taking your driving lessons. I'll give it a miss this year. I'll take them next year. No, you have to take your opportunity when it's fucking there, because it might never come again. All it takes is you to get knocked out by some fucking bum, or some journeyman, or some guy that you should be beating, and your pay-per-view career, whatever it is over. That's what boxing's about these days. It's losses. To the real boxing fans, losses don't mean much, but to the casual, it means a lot, and it affects all sorts, especially when you're building a career. So when you get the opportunity, you have to take it. And these guys don't want it. They don't want it. They're fucking cowards.
By the way,
Gonzalo.
I just want to say, did you guys hear about Bob Arum and his statement that he made, obviously, regarding Al Heyman? He said, he basically said, should I read this or paraphrase it? Anyways.
Paraphrase or read this. Either way, it's fine.
He basically said...
I think I know what you're going to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, me too.
Apparently, he believed that Spence is being manipulated by Al Heyman. And Al Heyman is basically telling him, do not make any deals with this white person.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
Now, hold on. There's a lot of reactions, like emotional reactions from certain people. You know who I'm talking about.
Who cares? They're crying.
Well, what I'm saying is,
it's like my son. When my son starts crying, I tell him, "Go to your room. When you're done crying, I'll talk to you."
But why would these people cry when they bring race into boxing the whole time? You know what I mean? Like,
they're professional victims. That's why they're professional victims.
Listen, Bucho, them dudes, we all know who they are. Them dudes have no right ever in the history of ever to ever call anybody else racist or none of that shit, bro. That's what their whole fucking channel's built on, bro. That's all it is.
How come they're not talking about the comments that the advisor for Jarrell Miller made about him, you know, that he's been treated unfairly because he's African American? How come they're not making a big fuss about that?
Right, an African American that was about to fight a African British guy.
Because
that's her agent.
So I'm sorry, but that's
a guy who's really from Africa, not just African. He's of descent. His family actually comes from Africa. Make that make sense to me.
This is how entitled these American fighters are. They actually think they have the right to be able to take steroids and beat someone up in the ring, and have anyone that says anything about it is a racist. Get the fuck out.
Guys.
And the interesting part about that is there hasn't been no penalty or punishment put on Jerome Miller yet for them to say he's being crucified. How is he being crucified if they're only talking about something bad he did? You know, because he was gonna fight for the heavyweight title, and that fell through. I mean, but has he received the punishment for people saying that he's getting crucified? No.
By the
if
way,
they want to pull the race card, they can pull that later. Once he gets let's say he gets suspended or for life, then you could say, oh, maybe the race card, but not now. There's been no punishment given.
By the way,
Gonzalo.
wait. If Jesus Christ, Baby Miller would have been a Russian or Ukrainian, trust me, it would have been fucking a different reaction. Oh, Ivan Drago is not coming to the US anymore. By the way, hold on.
Well, Buccio,
you go ahead.
Are you surprised though? Oh, I was gonna say, are you surprised? Did you guys see the the Washington Post yesterday?
No.
The fucking Washington Post. I mean, this is one of the top papers right in Washington. That walking dogs. White people walking their dogs, because white people tend to walk dogs, black people don't. They say that is a sign of white supremacy, that they go out to meet each other. That's how they stay. This is
Jimmy, are you telling me I'm a white supremacist?
But it's just listen, and then there's a woman yesterday who was preaching at fucking Boston University here in town. I wish I would have known. I like to fucking kick her in the cunt. She's out there on fucking stage saying the most ridiculous shit, saying if you're white and you don't see racism everywhere, that means you are a racist, and that by being white you are promoting racism. It's gone. Listen, the Overton window is open so far. We're literally watching this left. They're eating themselves alive. Now they've officially kicked straight black men out of their club. Have you seen that now? Now they're saying straight black men are the white men of the 19th. Yeah, no, seriously. Black men are now they're being shit on. So listen, the left is going to become smaller and smaller and more vile.
That's what they're doing, Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
Hey guys.
There you go, mate. Listen, what it is, right? The universities are destroying the minds of our women, of our young girls. Destroying it. They're teaching them to hate everything about themselves, their dads, their brothers, the white man's scum. Even, like I said, even the black women, they're doing it to them, to turn them on the black man, because they've been turning on them for a while now. So it's not just the white guys that got their women turned on them, it's the black dudes as well. I mean, it's only the Muslims have got theirs under control, but we all know why, don't we?
Well, they killed a bunch of Easter fucking worshippers. You see that? Obama and Clinton, Easter worshippers. They couldn't even say Christians.
All right, guys.
Anyways.
Steven Schneider, thank you for your contribution. He says, glad to hear Jimmy back. All right.
How you doing, Jimmy?
What's going on, gentlemen?
What's up, Jimmy?
Guys, I'm going to take a phone call. You might not be able to hear it like properly. I don't know why. People on YouTube, they hear it fine, but you guys in the Hangouts can't. So you guys are going to have to mute your mics and really pay attention, all right? So, all right, I'm going to take the call. 929, you're on the air. What's up?
Yeah, what's up, Buccio? Yeah, I just wanted to chime in on what Bob Aaron said, I think, after the fight. It may be true that Al Heyman is kind of blocking, his fighters from getting these matchups, with Terrence Crawford, particularly the welterweight division. But this is coming from a guy that blocked a potential rematch between two heavyweights, Fury and Wilder, by offering him a promotional deal, with the Top Rank and ESPN. So when I ever hear things like that, whatever he's saying, there's speculation about, we blacks got to stay together. We don't want to talk with the white man. I mean, he's just as full of shit. I mean, all promoters are professional liars, So it's like calling a pot calling a tea kettle black. So I just wanted to chime in on that issue. I mean, it's like, come on, man.
I agree with you.
Stop playing around.
Yeah, Bob Aaron.
That's a good point.
Yeah, Bob Arum, I mean, it's not like we trust what he says. I'm just saying that it's kind of ironic that some people complain about what Bob Arum just said when they talk in the same type of, language.
All right, so what you do, right, as a cop, what a cop would do if you got two liars, you go by their actions. You don't go by their words. You don't go by a liar's words. You go by his actions. I know this. Bob Arum, there'll never be another promoter in the history of the sport who'll ever put on and be involved in the amount of historical fights that this guy's been putting on for 50 years. Al Heyman,
100%, Jimmy.
what has Al Heyman done? What has he done? Caused
Shit.
division. And what I don't understand is he borrowed $1 billion to start a fucking company, had belts made, PBC belts, was going to get rid of the sanctioning bodies, was full on hostile takeover. His own people, including Al Bernstein, says it on Twitter. Now all of a sudden that tanked, and he has to fucking, so he gets, signs another deal with Fox. What, he doesn't suddenly still have those desires to take over? Throughout this history of the PBC since 2015, Jacobs got made with Triple G. That was the first big, what we consider an A-side fighter. But he had left, he had to leave Heyman to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He had so it's fucking, listen, Heyman has stated from the beginning, this has been his, he fucking, this is what he wants. He thinks he can hang on, and eventually these promoters will fall by the wayside, and he'll just run it all. He's been saying this before he even got into boxing. He was calling that HBO executive in the middle of the night saying, I can run this shit. I know I can run this shit. So I don't see why all of a sudden people are surprised that, hey, so Al's not, fucking Arum's not lying. Listen, Spence, it's Crawford walked up to Spence. You could tell Spence was like, oh, well, he was more reactive. Crawford, you can see the look in his face. He's like, let's do this. There's no doubt. He's saying, let's fight. So, I don't care what spin or what other bullshit they're saying. There's a history here. Broner, at the end of the day, has cost him millions being with Al Heyman. Millions. He turned down $40 million from Rock Nation. Then he turned down a guaranteed $6 million to fight Pacquiao 2 years ago. Listen, and then he fights him 2 years later for a fucking third. So come on, this whole thing that he looks out for his guys. All right, I'll let you guys talk.
Very good points, Jimmy. But let's just the caller. Anything else you want to say?
No, I just wanted to ask a question. Danny Garcia, did he turn down money to fight Crawford a few years ago?
Yeah.
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 Yes, he did.
Okay.
Yeah. Danny Garcia did turn down.
I just wanted to question. You think he would have had a better resume had he signed with PBC?
Crawford? Yeah.
Well, every one of the PBC welterweights have turned down official faxed over orders to their people. Faxed orders over from Top Rank, not through Twitter. Official fucking, here's what we're offering you. I've turned them down. So,
but Jimmy, hold on. Oh, the caller, you said something?
No, I didn't say nothing.
Okay, but guys, I think you misunderstood. He said with Crawford would have had a better career with the PBC.
Yeah, I heard what he said. I actually heard what he said, and it may be so. But the difference is, when you look at how active Crawford's been with Arum, he's making good money. He's fighting at Nebraska in his hometown, filling out the arenas. He's had a couple of pay-per-view fights. Yeah, they've not been great numbers, but they're building him. Arum's done a very good job. Now you look at the PBC fighters. They have one fight, they go missing for a year.
Can I say something to the caller real quick, Bucho?
Yeah. There's no fights for him.
I want to say real quick, I wasn't mouthing to the caller. I apologize if I sounded like I was coming at him. That wasn't at him at all. So I just want to say that. Anyways, go.
No, I was just going to say to the caller, bro, yeah, he might have a better resume at 147, but the thing is, bro, they talk about all this wrong side of the street bullshit, but these dudes are all under the PBC and they still haven't fought each other, bro.
Exactly, Johnny. That's what I was about to say. Even if you're on the PBC side, the big fights are not happening. Who on the PBC has a greater resume than Crawford or any other fighter outside of PBC? Who's got the best resume in the PBC?
None of them.
Maybe Danny Garcia.
Pacquiao.
Yeah, Pacquiao.
Well, but he made it on ESPN.
I know, I understand. Yeah, no, absolutely, of course. Isn't it funny? That's who they're all chasing now. They're all chasing the 42-year-old. Fucking heroes.
Pacquiao.
I understand. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Pacquiao has a better resume than everybody in boxing right now.
Yeah, there ain't a fighter in boxing that's fucking with Pacquiao's resume. Nobody.
Well, that was
All
it
right.
for the
Well,
callers.
let's see if the caller. Well, thank you for calling.
Thanks
No
for the call,
problem,
buddy.
thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
I don't think Bob Arum deliberately tried for like the Wilder Fury fight. I don't think he deliberately set that up for that not to happen. I think it's just one of those things that he's just looking out for this fighter and is trying to get a piece of the heavyweight division by offering this guy a good contract.
I think you're right, Gonzalo. 100%. He's just trying to get a piece. As a
Exactly.
businessman, he's trying to get a piece of the heavyweight action.
And why did the fight have to be done? It's so insane that everybody just takes it for like, oh, well, the fight's done now. Thanks, Bob. Wait a minute. Why is it Bob? Because it's right away. It's his side of the fence, right? It's Al saying, well, the fight can't happen now. Right? They're the ones putting a kibosh on it.
Hey, Jimmy.
I know you remember this. Like, Don King and Bob Arum hated each other.
Oh, yeah. Bad.
They hated each other, but they did business together.
Yeah. It's
Try to
possible.
fuck each other over. That's all. You try to get over on each other. You try to make a few extra bucks. That's how you get back at them. You know what I mean? You have your fighter win. Hopefully your fighter wins. Hopefully you make a little more on your back end.
Look, they got together. They got together for Trinidad De La Hoya. They said, "Look, man, there's a lot of money to be made at that time, right?" So they said, "Let's get together. Let's make this fight happen." It was a pay-per-view success. The fight itself was not all that. I thought De La Hoya won. They gave Trinidad the fight. I'm okay with it because I'm a Trinidad fan, and I did think De La Hoya gave away like 3 rounds towards the ending of the fight. But they got together. They said, "Fuck it, man. This is a lot of money. This is a whole lot of money to make."
Hey, can I tell you what I was told, guys? Again, off the record, I was just told this by someone created. He was told that at Top Rank, they're being told that obviously, listen, if you're representing Spence, now that you're trying to make this fight, where it's going to be shown is important, correct? They're going to obviously want to go through Showtime and Showtime pay-per-view, but ESPN has a lot more followers in ESPN and the pay-per-view through that end, and if they have like Aaron will be saying, it will be seen by a lot more, get a lot more advertisement to ESPN. If they're the fucking mothership, it's going to get pushed a lot harder. You know what I mean? It's in every bar, every hotel. So, and Aaron knows that. So, you know what I mean? And Fox doesn't have any more money or any more, budgeted aside. All those other things have already been, done. So,
it's a good point, Jimmy. It's a good point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Guys,
so that's a big sticking point.
Yeah. Just sorry to interrupt, but I have to read this because Official Boxing Scorecard donated, so thank you for your donation. And he's asking Jimmy, do you know why feminists want to ban the short skirts? And then he says, because they don't want you to see their balls hanging from below it. I guess.
Good for you, brother. Thank you for making me laugh.
Hey, you know these guys that blame Arum for not making for the Fury fight not happening. The only person to blame is the people behind them scamming fucking judges, because Fury would have been under contract if he'd won that fight, which he should have done. He would have been under contract to fight Wilder in a rematch, and there's nothing Arum or anyone else could have done about it. But the fact that they robbed the guy to a draw basically ripped up the contract, and it let Fury free from the contract sort of thing, so he could go and do what he wanted with the ESPN. So if anyone's to blame, it's the judges. Blame them.
When that fight was going on, Stu, and that dude had it wide for Wilder, I thought he was really going to get poked in the ass, and they were going to give the decision to Wilder. I was like, at that time, I was like, Jesus, at least they go a fucking draw.
When I had 140, I think it was 113, 113, was it? Something like that?
Yeah, that's what it was, yeah.
I just thought, knew it.
Yeah.
Apology, man. Thank you for your contribution. He says he's listening to the podcast. My favorite place. At my favorite place. Where the hell are you, Apology, man?
At the gym.
The gym? Ah, yeah, he's exercising. All right, sorry, I interrupted somebody. Go ahead.
20 past 12 at night. An apology fucking dumbbell.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but hey, at least he's not doing drugs.
I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a question for you guys. Okay, so what happens when, like, let's say, for example, let's say Andy Ruiz, which is a PVC fighter, gets the fight against Anthony Joshua, who is under the zone. Where would the fight take place and what platform?
The zone.
Well, that's the thing, Gonzalo. That's the thing, Gonzalo. They don't care about sending, some average guy over to get zapped.
Yeah, he's a sacrificial lamb. Yeah, he's on. He don't count. He's in the no mind list.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's a bad look. That's a bad look. That little fucking, no offense, man. I mean, I don't know that dude's situation, but that dude looked like he just got his stomach stapled. What the fuck? He had titties and ass flying all over that fucking ring. That'd be an embarrassment. Come on. It's not a good look for the sport.
That fighter goes to the zone, to the champions promotional network. That's what happens. The A side fighter gets to fight in his network.
Listen,
usually,
yeah.
Yes, yeah. It's usually the one who's behind the makes all the major calls.
Yeah, Gonzalo. I mean, like I say, if it's Tank Davis or fucking Wilder or some shit, one of their bigger names over there, they're not going to send them over there to get zapped. But like Jimmy said, if it's a sacrificial lamb, they'll be like, yeah, go ahead.
Back in the day when Pacquiao fought Mayweather, how did that go down? The two networks had the fight on both platforms, right, at the same time.
Yeah, but Showtime was still in. Showtime was the lead.
Now, what usually happens is it's like Dillian White. Dillian White's actually with Matchroom and DAZN, but when he fought Joseph Parker, that fight wasn't on DAZN. Showtime bought the rights, so basically Showtime the rights goes to a purse bid sort of thing, and Showtime bidded more, so they actually got the fight. So even though Dillian White's not with Showtime, he fought on Showtime. If you get what I'm saying.
Well, you're talking about Joshua against Parker.
No, Dillian White against Parker.
Chisora.
No, Dillian White versus Joseph Parker.
Speaking of Showtime, I heard Espinosa's kind of a cocksucker about the whole thing too. Like he's bought a lot of the kibosh. He's bitching that he's not getting a lot of the big fights. They went to yeah. So the fucking he doesn't want. You notice he's making a lot of stink on Twitter about it too. He's kind of a weirdo, anyways.
Do you know what, Azzy has got to be one of the most irritating pieces of shit ever to grace the YTBC. He's in the chat saying, "Why isn't with Matchroom?" This guy is everything you say. This guy is always trying to put you right. Who the fuck is he with then? Because he's on Sky Sports. Who is his promoter? Eddie Hearn.
Listen, who created Dillian White?
I block this fucking clown. I think he's a cancer to the chat.
Who created Dillian White? Who created this fighter who put him on main events? Who made him a name?
Who gave him box office? Yeah, Azzy's a fucking idiot, man. Honestly, you are a real dipshit, Azzy. I can't be done with you, bro.
Precise saying that Azzy's a broad. I think Azzy's a female.
Well, if that's a female, man. If that's a female, she needs some fucking Ike Turner. That's what she needs.
I was talking with Del Boy and McGregor the other day, man, and it's like, yo, what's the weirdest name you ever heard for a girl? And I'm like, I don't know. I met a couple of girls named Jerry before. Like, there's some weird names.
Yeah,
I remember meeting a girl. She tells me my name is Frankie. I'm like, oh man.
I know a Frankie. Lacasio recognized.
Yeah, but I'm the problem with me dating like a Frankie would be like we both have the same fucking name. That's my name. I'm like, oh shit.
It's like you're fucking yourself.
Sorry. Yeah. It's like,
hey, Bucho.
Yeah.
What do you think about the 14-day weigh-in for Jacobs Canelo? He had to drop like 12 pounds, and Canelo's been staying more steadily around 168, 165.
Yeah, I was surprised.
That's better.
Well, actually, I'm not surprised. Jacobs, he was at what, 172?
175, I think, or 172. 175, I think he had to drop like 12 pounds.
I keep asking you guys.
And like
what
the
do you
matter
think?
Of, yeah.
Do you guys think this is gonna affect Jacobs? The fact he has to go down all that much, and like there's no there is a rehydration clause. So will that affect a big guy like Jacobs?
14 days out, you said. How many days out?
And,
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and Canelo's been.
And what is Jacobs' weigh?
He had to go from 175, which was about a week ago, to 168. 165. What was it? Yesterday or the day before?
Did he make it?
Yeah, but basically, what I'm trying to say, he dropped 12 pounds in like a week, and Canelo has been steadily staying at 168. He only dropped like 3 pounds within the last week. So in other words, Canelo's been steadily remaining around that weight for like the last month, while Danny Jacobs had to drastically drop. I mean, it's not a whole lot, but let's say
12 pounds.
15 pounds. Yeah, 12
that's
pounds.
That's huge. That's ridiculous amount of weight in 7 days. That's ridiculous amount. Listen, you drop that in the beginning, the first 2 weeks of camp, because if you get any fat on you, but Jacobs doesn't carry fat. He's a lean dude all year round. So the fact that he ate that much muscle, in order to do that, you're doing more than just, running. You're fucking sauntering. You know what I mean? You're sweating it out in a sauna. Ugh, he's taking off too much too quick. So
yeah, the pictures are up. I thought he looked really skinny. I think really Jacobs is a super middleweight. To tell you the truth, he's been a super middleweight.
Yeah, well, I mean, since what was he? He hasn't. I mean, let's be honest. Has he been in an exciting fight since Gennady? I mean, look, I can't really remember any of his performances. It's just they're bland.
Jimmy, I think the Selecki fight he had was a pretty good one. I thought the Selecki kid,
pretty good. Yeah.
Did he stop him?
He dropped him.
He dropped
in the 11th round.
Yeah, but everybody drops that dude. No offense, man, but that kid gets dropped in once, but in like almost every fight.
Yeah.
And some people thought he lost the Deveryachenko fight. I mean, Deveryachenko is a good fighter, but he's not like a big middleweight. But he's a really good fighter. He was able to drop him too.
I thought Deveryachenko looked fucking slow and prodding, and I thought he looked like shit his last fight. Was it last weekend? I thought he looked like fucking. I thought he looked horrible. He was gasping he was sucking wind in the 6th round, and that's always been his knock, But he was sucking wind, his prodding, he was telegraphing his punches, he was leaving him out too long. He went life and death with that fucking kid, whatever his name is, Charaway or whatever. Come on, fucking Gennady would have ate that kid's lunch. I'm just saying, remember back when that first all went down, he was like, oh, he doesn't want no part of Deveryachenko. Like that fucking reporter, what's his name? Fucking the kid who writes for the LA Times. Whatever, fuck it. He was the one pushing that.
Okay.
Fucking Deveryachenko. 2 weeks before, I said he thought he was a fucking defenseman for the Tampa Bay Lightning. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, everybody said G was fair in this kid.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here with that one.
Yeah, he's catching a lot of shit for taking that fight against the Rose Cat.
Yeah, I'm not too happy on that. I'm not fucking very happy on that. Although I'm not too. I missed the show after the thing. I haven't put my 2 cents in on fucking Khan, man. That is some bullshit right there. Dude took a shot in the hip flexor and he straight quit. If he was ready to fight, he would have taken the 5 minutes. That was just listen. Then the fact that I don't quit. You know who I am. You've seen what I've done. Like he makes it sound like he's been in these crazy dog fights, right? He's been brawling and he ends up getting clipped. No, dude, you're up on all the scorecards. You fucking, you know what I mean? And then you just get clipped. So it's not like you've been in dog fights. That was the first time he was taking a beating. You know what I mean? No matter what he did. And that was a proof to, like Mickey, I just saw Mickey Ward the other night. I saw him Saturday night. He was saying, fucking, these guys, they fight once a year if they're lucky, some of them, and sometimes 5 rounds. It was the fuck. No wonder he looked sloppy. His timing was off. I thought Khan looked like shit, regardless of the fact he took a beating. Yeah, and now he's going to probably make millions fighting Brook. That's just disgusting.
I want to be devil's advocate. I want to be devil's advocate real quick. If Khan wanted to quit, would have been an easy way out? Just remaining on the canvas in the 1st round.
Nah, man, because it's big into a fighter's world. There's a big difference from getting stretched.
What is the difference between quitting on your feet and quitting on your ass? It's quitting at the end of the day. It don't really fucking matter.
I agree with you. Yeah,
but I understand what you're saying. You're saying he could act like he was knocked out, but then it's more pride, though, right? Then you have to admit I was knocked out.
When he got up, you know when you're a child, when it's a babe, and when he falls over, he's crying. He looks over to see his mum, doesn't he? To get a bit of fucking.
Good analogy.
You know what I mean, don't you? That's what he was looking over Virgil, say, "Help me here, Virgil, save me." And Virgil's sitting there waving the towel, fucking like, you know, like it was. Of course, it was fucking. It was disgraceful. And Khan, I bet Khan didn't mind collecting that check at the end of the night, though. I bet he was all
shit.
Yeah.
Oh, Stu.
I bet the old groin injury soon disappeared when he saw that £5 million check.
You know what Ward said? Mickey Ward said, he said if he really would have got clipped in the nuts, he said he wouldn't have been sitting in that press conference all comfy on that fucking folded chair. You know what I mean? He'd been sitting on ice. You know what I mean? He wouldn't have been sitting there all comfortable, like all man spread it out on that fucking hard chair.
When the referee stopped, when the referee stopped the fight, Khan didn't complain. So.
No, he didn't.
He's a fucking joke. That's what it was.
I knew this guy was going to. I knew he was going to make the excuses up afterwards. I knew he was going to mention the Brook fight. I knew he was going to talk. Hang on a fucking round.
He didn't win a fucking round for me. I'm sorry.
What did you say? I'm sorry, guys. What was Stu? What were you just saying, brother?
Well, I'm trying to get in here one at a time, boys. I just knew he was going to make them excuses up afterwards. Oh, if it had gone on a bit longer, you know, I was getting into the fight. The Kell Brook fight is still there for me. I knew all these sound bites were going to come. As soon as get this fucking clown out of boxing. I'm sure there's a new Bollywood movie that they can make a Bollywood version of Rocky starring Amir Khan. How about that?
Dude, like Amir Khan. Let me just say this quickly. Amir Khan,
absolute joke.
Amir Khan. Look, all he did was fucking lunge in. He was lunging in with his punches. He was scared. He never controlled anything. I'm sorry, he just landed punches because Crawford is not a good defensive fighter. He gets hit, right? But he was never in control. I'm sorry, I don't see where he was winning 1 or 2 rounds or maybe 3. I just don't see that. He was losing. He was the loser in the fight. He was always fighting like the loser.
I gave him 1 round, recognized.
Okay,
guys,
listen, that's fine. But to me, it wasn't like, oh, if the fight would have continued, it would have. No, he's a bum. This guy is a bum.
I'm agreeing with you, bro. I'm agreeing with you. Yeah.
Khan's a bum. That's it. He's just a bum.
Yeah.
You sound pissed off, recognize.
No, because like I hear these like, look, I respect everybody's opinion, but it's like Khan was gonna do what in the second half of the fight? What? Suck his dick at the end?
Oh my God.
It's becoming too normalized, though. The quitting thing is becoming too normalized. This is like, it used to be nobody, remember the no mas thing was historic because it almost never happened. Guys didn't usually just quit. It's happening all the time. Yeah. It's like fucking insane.
I know a fucking con man when I see one. I've been around long enough to know a fucking con man. Most of my friends are fucking con men, really. I know what Khan conned us, mate. Khan knew he could beat Terence Crawford.
Thank you.
Look at the build up to this fight. He was basically hanging out of Terence Crawford's ass. There's none of that trash. There was none of that fucking trash talk. There was none of that big bravado like he did with Brook. I mean, he called Kell Brook a homosexual. He gives Kell Brook all sorts of shit. But when Terence Crawford's in front of him, he's like fucking Minnie Mouse. That's when I knew this guy. He fooled us. I mean, look at the shape he was in. It's like, you know, when you get one of them fat people that have a gastric band and they still got that loose flesh. That's what that.
Yeah, he looked weird.
Yeah.
Hey, Jimmy,
Dude, he was terrible, man. He was just terrible in that fight. And look, man, Crawford wasn't great.
Absolutely dreadful.
Crawford wasn't great. Some of those rounds he was winning by default, in my opinion, because Khan was just terrible. But I never saw like, this is going to be a boxing fight.
You disgust me.
Saw it.
You disgust me.
Crawford there was bits of shades of Wilder in there when Terence Crawford was swinging.
Yeah, you're right. And guess what? And fucking Khan was fucking just winging haymakers.
Hey guys.
Yeah, I think he wanted to knock him out because everybody else has. I think it got in his head a little.
Yeah, by the way, in the chat, Nopal Castellanos is saying that, hey, you guys were all saying it would be a competitive fight, basically. Keep that in mind.
Well, it actually was.
Nepal's the kind of guy that will tell you.
It actually was competitive before he got stopped because neither of them were doing much. So it was actually competitive. Like I think Precise had Khan winning a couple of rounds. So it weren't like a one-sided schooling. We knew Khan was bad, but we didn't know he was that shot.
I thought Khan was losing every round.
Yeah, I did too. I gave him one round.
Scared. Like I respect everybody's opinion, but I'm sorry, he looked scared every round.
I didn't have him winning rounds, but it was still a competitive fight. It wasn't a domination. Crawford wasn't really landing much himself. He was winning the fight. He was the boss in there, dictating the pace, and he looked the danger man in there. Every time he threw his hands, you wait for Khan to be asleep on the canvas.
but to the dude in the hangouts there, right?
Yeah.
But to our defense, I don't think any one of us picked Khan to win. So the bottom line, nobody gave him a fucking chance to win. So whether it was competitive, which I don't remember hearing anybody say it was going to be.
By the way, can I say something? Can I say something? Well, now
nothing. We all thought he was going to lose.
Well, hold on, guys. Can you hear me? All right, Ed Cadler in the chat.
Go ahead. I can hear you.
Ed Cadler in the chat is saying that the panel is eating crow now. I tried to tell you Khan would get beat up. I don't understand. I think everybody predicted that.
Fucking, this guy's trying to get one on us when he hasn't got one on us at all.
This is the kind
I think he needs to play back last week's show when everybody was fucking just going to the 8th round because
yeah.
You know, everyone's like 6th, 7th. I don't know. Bottom line, everybody said he was going to get fucking stopped.
Dude, this is the kind of guy that sends 10 different guys in 10 different situations at you. You beat all their ass, but the last guy beats you.
Yeah.
I told you it was going to finally happen, you know. I told you.
Yeah. Anyway, you could get 30 things right on this channel. God forbid you get one wrong. They're like fucking leeches, aren't they? They're like vultures, man.
Stu, I don't remember you picking Khan. I'm sorry, I don't remember anybody in this panel.
If anything, I said an eighth round knockout. I mean, I weren't far off, to be honest with you. Let's be real. And
Stu just
he's going on about this savage beating. Let's not pretend it was a low blow and a quit by Khan on his stall. It wasn't a knockout. It wasn't the ref had to stop him from getting fucking put in a coma. I didn't see that. I saw a low blow and a side quit. That's what I saw.
There's a confusion here, or misunderstanding. People in the chat, this is where I'm getting at. Okay, so guys in the Hangouts, was this a competitive fight, yes or no?
No.
Okay.
Not in my opinion.
It wasn't. Listen, it wasn't competitive, but it
wasn't a blowout either.
No, it wasn't. Where Khan was still in the fight. If you get what I'm saying, he was still in the fight
because Crawford is not that good.
Well, but that's a different. That's
the only reason
topic.
why.
Yeah, but that's a different topic. He asked me, was he in the fight? And I said he was sort of in the fight, but he was losing every round. Don't get me wrong, but he was still there. And while you're still there, you got a chance.
I agree with you on that. Yeah,
he was getting touched up pretty good too.
Yeah. Crawford was getting touched up, and he was getting touched up based on the fact that Khan was rushing in, crossing his feet, bull rushing without no real offensive game plan other than just going inside head first. And even though Crawford saw him coming, he was still getting hit. They were hitting each other.
There's nothing on his punches either.
Crawford looks suspect to me in every fight.
Yeah, he was. That's not the way he fought Canelo.
No, I'm talking about Crawford. Crawford to me looks suspect in every fight. Every fight he does, right? But like Khan, what he was doing, he just looked hesitant. He looked sloppy. He looked like the guy who was losing every round. Crawford was getting touched up because everybody touches Crawford up. They just do. You know, I look at the Spence fight and I say, Crawford, you better do something, man, because I think Spence beats you, bro. I think Spence beats you right now. Now, that doesn't mean that I think that Crawford has no chance. I think Crawford does have a chance because I don't think Spence is that good either. These guys are not that good. They're not that good. They got flaws in their game.
Recognize. I had this talk. Like I say, I had this talk with Busho a couple of times, bro. All these fucking welterweights we got right now are overrated, and you're talking about this dude is the next fucking. He's the heir to fucking Ray Leonard and
Yeah.
all this other bullshit. Like, get out of here with that.
No,
Yeah,
no,
come on, man.
no. He hasn't shown Ray Leonard as he hasn't shown. To be honest with you, he hasn't shown Trinidad
Exactly.
potentials. He hasn't shown me that. Maybe he will. Maybe he will eventually, but it's not. It's not.
But to his defense on getting touched up, catching a lot of Khan shots, Khan wasn't putting anything behind those punches.
Thank you, Jimmy.
So Crawford was like, fucking, I'll eat these. This is shit. I get hit hard as sparring. See the size of the duty spars?
You know, people got to understand something. Just because I'm letting a guy hit me in a boxing fight, maybe there's a reason why. It's because I don't fear his punches. I want to get closer to him.
But
I just start landing on him. Listen, Khan was never in control of anything in that fight. He was never in control. Not even whether he wanted to fight or not. The one that was in control of that was Virgil Hunter.
I thought he won round 3 and 2. You give it to Crawford, but he landed a few good shots in there too. But round 3 I gave to Khan. But this is what I was waiting for. This raised more questions than what gave me answers. Look, this was what I was kind of waiting. If this guy's rushing you in, how come you can't just take a step back and shoot a straight right cross? You know, or just remain in place and wait for him to come in, time him, and get the knockout against the glass chin fighter. Okay, so why did it have to end it like this? When the guy, he rushed in, but you had to hit him low. How come he couldn't?
He didn't hit him low intentionally, Gonzalo. I'm sorry, he didn't.
Not intentionally, but was it a kind of like a reaction as to like a sloppy reaction? You know, could he got in a cleaner shot? You know, and upstairs or and knocked him out, a la Canelo. That's what I was kind of waiting for from a pound for pound fighter, not such a sloppy performance. Because I mean, one thing that Khan did do, he kind of made it rugged, but he didn't implement no good boxing skills because he was rushing in, crossing his feet, and so if you see the guy coming, just think about Mike Tyson's punch out the game. Nintendo, the guy's coming. What you gotta do? Just time him or step back and land your counter.
When I used to fight guys who rush in like that, I would low blow them too because that's how you get fucking cuts. That was like a headbutt waiting to happen. The way Khan would rush in like that sometimes, like try to close distance, he would just come in kind of head first. I thought Crawford threw a few low to keep him back.
There's reasons.
But then again, Crawford, that fight ended in the 6th round. Crawford, who knows? He might have had a game plan where he wanted to take him deep, wanted to get some rounds in. This kid ain't hurting me, so I'm not going to put him out yet. You know, I got fucking here at Madison Square Garden. This is what I do for a living. Mm-hmm. So, like, yes, he didn't stop him, like knock him out. So I hear a lot of people, and I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but a lot of people, he didn't even stop him. It's like, dude, it was 6 rounds. How do we know his game plan wasn't to start turning it on in the 7th or turning it on in the 6th? He obviously started turning on the 6th because
that's what I thought,
he made him quit. Yeah, he probably wanted to knock him out in the later rounds, but wanted to get some work in. You know, it's important to these guys.
Yeah.
Jimmy.
But on the inside, where's his good defense? I mean, maybe he wasn't respecting his power. Okay, but one thing is kind of comes to my mind. Maybe he wasn't too confident that he can deal with Khan's speed. Now this raises the question: can he fight fighters like that are fast and think that he can prevail on the inside, kind of like when he got hit by Gamboa? Or is he? That's why the reason he went low, because he was trying to thwart whatever Khan was throwing at him. He just didn't want to get blindsided. So he's like, let me get out of this hard situation.
I think frustration, mate. He looked very frustrated in there.
Khan was frustrating him, man. He was outboxing him in spots, and you know, I got no problem with like people giving him Crawford most of the rounds because his shots were just had a lot more effect because Khan has no chin. But Khan was landing just as many shots on Crawford, and I think that got Crawford a little embarrassed. If you remember, he was switching from southpaw to right-handed all the time, and instead of boxing, he was coming forward and looking to brawl Khan because he couldn't outbox him the way he wanted to. And one more thing, You know, I don't know how people score fights, but when Crawford hits with the palm of the glove, that's not a scoring blow. When he hits Khan on the kidney, that's not a scoring blow. I don't know if you guys noticed, but like his quote unquote body punches, they're nothing but slaps to the side of the torso or the back. Like he doesn't know how to turn his punches over and into the body, except maybe for the uppercut.
There's definitely
Like
there's evidence of that. When you look at Khan's face, he's got like scratch marks on him. That's from the that's from the laces from the inside of the glove where he's not connecting properly. So he's
I can understand some noobs who
don't
don't understand boxing and they see these slaps and they think that they're scoring blows. They're not, which is the reason why I gave Khan 2 rounds and I thought about giving him the third, is because those are not scoring blows. You're supposed to be landing with the knuckles, and hitting the guy on the kidney is illegal. Hitting him behind the head is illegal. Those are not scoring blows. But, you know, a lot of boxing fans these days, they haven't been watching the sport for more than a couple of years, and they're the loudest ones generally. So
this is what I noticed. Look, for Khan being 5'8", he's got really long arms. He's got like monkey arms. It looks like that. Like, you know, when Stu says that he throws wide punches, for his frame, to his advantage could be that he's got long arms. Apparently, I don't know what it is on boxer, but he looked like a Tommy Hearns to me. He's not 6'1", he's 5'8", but according to the TV, his arms look really long, like a Tommy Hearns. I know he's not nowhere near the height, but he's skinny.
Who's talking about?
He's not. Terrence Crawford, his arms look like monkey arms.
His arms are long. He's 5'8", and he has a 74-inch arm reach.
Yeah, it kind of looks disproportionate. I'm not comparing him with Tommy Hearns, but he had that appearance. Like,
you're right.
To his dimensions.
Now,
so when he throws the white shot,
people are going
talking about.
Yeah, now they're calling you a racist now, apparently.
No, it's okay because I don't think racially. I know they would say that.
Yeah, you
because
people are stupid.
They're just waiting for. They're just waiting for something. You know, they used to call me monkey arms in school too when I was in elementary school, because I know they're probably thinking about that, but that has nothing to do with it. Because I'm upfront about shit.
But why do they used to call you monkey arms, Gonzalo? Did you look like little bubbles?
No, I was skinny when I was
you had long arms. That's what happens
in elementary, you know, and I was into boxing and freaking, like, I don't know, some guy, she just said that I had long arms, but that has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, but maybe that's why Crawford. That's maybe why his hooks are very wide, because the long arm. When you got long arms, it's hard to.
He's got some really long arms. For a guy 5'8", 74, that's usually you find that in a guy 5'11", 6 feet, somewhere around there. And he's 5'8".
So when Stu was saying that he throws wide punches and Precise saying that he's lacing them, he's probably having a hard turning those left arms according to his 5'8" frame when somebody's rushing in, like Khan was, because Khan was bull rushing him. So he didn't turn them in time. He kind of leaps back. Crawford does. He leaps back and tries to turn the punch, but he doesn't get it enough to where he completely turns it.
Yeah,
because the long.
Gonzalo,
that's it.
Gonzalo's saying he looked like Tommy Hearns. That's like you saying I look like Bobby Bacala, bro. That ain't no fucking racist shit. Get out of here with that.
Hey, to Precise's point too, man, with gloves and the images is the reason why the tips are white, because that's the scoring part of the glove.
That's the scoring part of the glove.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and if these guys saw the images, they would know that too. Yeah, they just don't do it in the pros, but it's supposed to translate. That is still supposed to be the scoring part. Anything past that is not, like you said, wrist, forearm.
Yeah, so like when he was fighting a Gamboa that's got T-Rex arms on the inside, how hard would it be for a guy with long ass arms to fight you and connect you with not the palms but turn his punches and connect you cleanly? That probably be harder for him.
When Gamboa fought Crawford, Gamboa was the better boxer. The problem there was the size difference. The size difference was a little too much for Gamboa to overcome, and that's why he got knocked out in the end, right? But if you look at the first 4 rounds, maybe even 5 rounds, if you really look, he's clearly outboxing Crawford. He's clearly landing shots to hurt him. You see, that's the problem why I have a problem giving Khan rounds. I agree with Precise. I agree with I think Jimmy said it. You guys gave him 2 rounds. I get it. He caught him, but there was nothing on it, and he was just on the defense. I can't give, like, in my opinion, when I go to score fights, I can't give you rounds when you're hesitating to throw a punch. That's why I thought Floyd Mayweather lost to Manny Pacquiao. He never put anything on it. It was more like, let me hit you and get the fuck out the way.
Yeah, so the crowd goes. So the crowd
I gotta get out of here. I'm avoiding confrontation. And then when Khan was getting into confrontations, because he was lunging in with those punches, it would allow him to get caught. You know, he would get hit, and that's how he got knocked down the first round.
I think when people give credit to Crawford that he's a switch hitter, that he's ambidextrous, I think that's good. But at the same time, it's like it shows like his limitations as far as having other wrinkles to his defense. Because in other words, if he's not pulling it off as a right-handed, he's like, all right, I'm going to switch left-handed, and he will throw off his opponent, and that's his claim to fame, his best weapon. But parrying, like moving his waist on the swivel, he kind of gets he's got good distance with his feet. I mean, he will move laterally and
one thing I did in there when Crawford and Khan were trading in the pocket. Crawford was a lot quicker in there. Khan was always second to the punch. Speed, what Amir Khan is known for, has gone. And when that goes, what has this guy got to offer? Go on, Johnny.
No, I was just gonna say, here, this is the bottom line. Khan got his ass kicked and he quit, bro. I was gonna say, to Jimmy just said, yeah, I got low blowed in sparring too. Yeah, I did too. When I was fucking a kid and I used to spar and shit and go to the gym when I was 14, 15 years old, bro. I had the one kid spar me. I shined him. He hit me low a couple times. I shined him up, and I fucking seen him at school a couple days later. We had a couple of shiners or whatever, and he was telling everybody he got hit in the face by a baseball and all this.
But yeah, Johnny, but you guys know that this has opened up the conversation again, and some people are saying that somehow Crawford undeniably is pound for pound based off of this performance.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't because Lomachenko he put on a dominant thorough with the cherry on top with the KO. You know, so I mean, for them to bring that up again, it's like, okay, you can believe what you want to believe, but you can't say that Crawford is number one.
Yeah, Gonzalo, we talked about this a couple of shows ago. Okay, in my opinion, I'm just speaking for myself now. In my opinion, Crawford has earned a slot in the top 5. This is just me, nobody else. But this whole back and forth with him and Lomachenko, like, fuck no, you dudes are crazy. Hell, not anybody on here, I'm saying, but like, no.
Crawford is not a better pound for pound fighter than Lomachenko.
No,
get the fuck out of here.
Loma beats him. Lomachenko beats Crawford.
And if he doesn't get caught, he does beat him. If he doesn't get caught with something he doesn't see.
Crawford doesn't hit all that hard, man. His power's overrated as hell.
Really?
I kept thinking about that. For some reason, I kept thinking about that fantasy matchup. I was like, things that make you say, came up to my mind.
I think we have to be realistic. I think we have to be realistic. Crawford is going to be 160 pounds on the night. I mean,
probably more than that. Probably more than that.
165. So we can't really expect Lomachenko to do that.
Precisely. But when you look at his head,
but when you break it down like pound for pound, skill-wise, I mean, Lomachenko for me is miles ahead, but Crawford is a terrific fighter. He's just got so many. Well, he hasn't got so many, but he's got a few flaws there that need polishing up before I can stick him in Lomachenko's bracket. That's for sure.
Loma's not going to get caught like Gamboa, who doesn't have any defense, fights with his hands down. He's not going to get caught like that.
And was still outboxing the shit out of
Don't they have a common opponent? Don't they have a common opponent in Ricky Burns, precise?
Who?
Loma beat Pedraza,
Crawford.
who beat Beltran. So I mean, that's not really a common opponent, different styles. But
didn't Ricky Burns fight Crawford and fight Lomachenko?
No. Ricky Burns fought Crawford.
Okay.
He fought Crawford.
It would have. That's why I wanted to see the Beltran fight, because if Loma can stop Beltran, then how are you going to tell me I'm crazy for thinking that Loma can beat Crawford? You know what I mean?
The problem with Beltran is that, man, Pedraza fucking schooled him, bro.
I can see where you're coming from. Yeah. It's just that the fact is Crawford on the night is going to be huge. The Crawford that fought Gamboa, I mean, that was at 135. I mean, he's a lot smaller back then than he is now. I mean, this guy was huge. I thought Khan was going to be the bigger guy in there because Khan sat around at welterweight for years, got up to 160. But Crawford was the bigger guy in there, man. This guy's just
Yeah, he
growing
was,
back.
but Gamboa wasn't a lightweight. He lost his only fight at lightweight. He got a robbery win over a nobody. Once he stepped up to 130 pounds, he didn't look so good against Farenas. So, he never even proved himself at 130 pounds. Loma is arguably the best lightweight right now, probably is the best lightweight. So it's, Crawford's bigger, but Loma is not necessarily bigger than Gamboa, but better at a higher weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I
what do you
wonder
guys?
if they're both, since they're both with Top Rank, I'm sorry, Jimmy, if they have ever
Oh,
seen
no.
Ward before. If they have, because since they're both with Top Rank, Crawford and Lomachenko.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they train at different facilities, different sides of the country.
I'm going to take you over there tomorrow.
But no, I was gonna say, what do you guys think of Lomachenko's comments? I like him. I like that he kind of put the fucking just like enough talk when he said, "Listen, I'm not going up to 140." You know what I mean? Like it was in a press conference last week. He came out and said that. He goes, "Listen, no, I'm. This is, what did he say? 140 would be the absolute biggest for me." And I don't even think he said he wanted to go to 140. I think he pretty much said, "Listen, my frame, everything else, 130 is where I'm comfortable, 135 rather, but I'll go to 140. But that's it." So I like that he did that. He's telling everybody, if they want to fight me, it's going to be at 140. I'm not this bullshit, because a lot of people are on that side of the street who like to hate on him for other things other than boxing, are saying, why doesn't he come up to 147 like Garcia? It's like, are you fucking serious?
Jimmy,
on Twitter.
Garcia, man. He was fucking ragdoll.
No, guys.
I know.
Jimmy, Garcia literally has nothing more than a puncher's chance to beat Lomachenko. Yeah, of course he did.
Mikey ducked Lomachenko, bro.
Absolutely.
I don't
recognize.
Hold on,
guys.
Hold on, let Johnny say something real quick, guys.
Hold on. Go ahead, Johnny.
No, bro. He ducked Lomachenko. Okay, listen. He went all the way to 140, came back down to 135 to unify titles with Robert Easter, only to drop that fucking title and then jump all the way up to 147. This is why I think, I'm right on par with Precise on this one. I don't give a fuck how many weights you went up. It's who have you fought, bro?
Who have you beaten?
Yeah, who you beaten, bro? Exactly.
Hey, guys, before we go to Gonzalo, whatever. Jimmy was mentioning that these people want to see Lomachenko lose, and I don't care if he loses. I think he's a good fighter. He's one of my favorite fighters.
Guess what?
Yeah,
including me.
But it's not about want to see him. He already lost. That's the thing, all right? So I don't care. The thing is, when I see people on Twitter saying, "Oh, Marcus was 5'6", Pacquiao was 5'6", Lomachenko is 5'6", and he's not moving up in weight to welterweight. I'm like, are you fucking stupid? It's not even the same thing. Just because they're the same height doesn't mean that they're the same body frame and everything. This is just ridiculous.
Bucho, this is dumb. This is so dumb. Look, they hate on him because he's a great boxer. I just said I want to see Lomachenko lose. Do you want to know why I want to see Lomachenko lose?
Why?
Because can you imagine what kind of boxer that is that beats Lomachenko?
Yeah.
What are we talking about here? After a guy that could go in there toe to toe and beat him
and recognize, and we can even if he loses to a boxer like that, and then there's a rematch and Lomachenko wins, then we're actually witnessing somebody that's really great.
Man,
you know what I mean?
Witnessing great boxing. That's what we're witnessing, man.
I gotta school somebody in the chat real quick. RR1000, you said Mikey didn't duck Loma. Mikey dropped Salido. Okay, here we go, bro. Mikey fought Orlando Salido in his 31st pro fight. 33-1.
At a different weight class.
Yeah, different weight class. Loma fought him in his second pro fight. Second. And the decision was iffy, bro.
At best.
Well, like RR1000, like everybody else, they always leave themselves open for a counterpunch. Look, Rocky Martinez dropped your boy. He dropped Mikey Garcia. Rocky Martinez, that Lomachenko almost put him to sleep for good. Okay, the guy was shaking on the floor when he went down. All right. One of the most beautiful knockouts. He couldn't even touch Lomachenko, was touching your boy Mikey up. So what's your point? What is the fucking point of bringing that up?
Loma stopped the guy that beat Easter and got robbed. So, I mean, you know, we could play this game all day. It's like...
Wait, say that again?
Loma stopped Jason Sosa, who stopped Fortuna, who got robbed against Robert Easter. And that's Mikey Garcia's like his best win at 135. Come on.
Yeah. Even Salido said if that won one more round, I was done. You know what I mean? He
Salido
knew.
was honest. He was like,
yeah.
The boy almost dropped me. Like, yeah.
Exactly.
Mikey was cracking in that fight. Salido turned up the heat, and Mikey said no mas. I mean,
well,
that's
and you know,
real.
you know what else kills me, bro? When these dudes say, these clown ass motherfuckers be like, well, Linares put him down. Yeah, Linares was the #1 lightweight in the world. Mikey was at 140. Linares was the #1. He was the lineal and WBA champ. Okay, and that's what happens when the best fight the best. It's fucking competitive.
How many times has Pacquiao been knocked out? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's still one of the greatest fighters of all time.
It's ridiculous.
I was just gonna say, Mikey Garcia, he's still a good fighter, but he's not gonna beat. I don't think he'll beat Lomachenko based on the style, because Lomachenko is an elite fighter, pound for pound. Mikey Garcia made an interesting comment. I saw it on my feed. He's claiming that he's better pound for pound than Lomachenko. That's all I want to say.
He's kidding himself.
Who said that?
Mikey Garcia. He just put out a statement. You'll find it, on Boxing News.
He's fucking delusional. Listen,
he went up. He
went up there. Listen, he didn't just lose to Spence. He got fucking humiliated. He got humiliated. He was not in that fight in any way, shape, or form. He was slower. It was a come on.
But you know what, Jimmy? I don't give him too much shit about that, because it's like a fifth grader beating up a third grader. The third grader.
But I mean, he went into that fight saying, "Oh, well, you don't know." You know what I mean? Like it was just the shit he talked.
Yeah.
He talked a lot of shit because he does. He has a fucking overinflated sense of self-worth, and it's just the opposite in Lomachenko. All he talks about is things he has to get better at. You ever hear him talk like that? Yeah, he'll say, "Yeah, I'm about pound for pound," but you know what I mean? Like he focus. It's just if you have to tell everybody you're the best, you're not the best.
You know what, dude? Like I say, I love a great little Mexican fighter, Spanish fighter, whatever, bro. Like I say, I grew up with all the Mexicans in Illinois, dog. Okay, I fucking ain't nobody like a good little Mexican, tough little Mexican motherfucker more than me, bro. Unless but. Don't even fucking... I hear dudes putting him in the same sentence as Barrera and Morales and shit. Like, go fuck yourself, dog. No, don't ever do that.
Those guys beat him up.
They would beat the shit out of him, recognize. Yeah.
They would make him quit. If Salido made him quit, what do you think these guys would do?
Yes.
Salido was not as good as those guys. He's not as good as those guys.
I was seeing some highlights on Robert Garcia, his brother. His brother was actually pretty good.
Oh yeah, Robert was a good fighter.
People in the chat are saying that you guys need to give Salido credit.
I do give Salido credit. What's the problem? I'm giving him credit.
All right.
Salido's a very good fighter. He just loses to Barrera.
He's a warrior.
I give him credit. He hit Loma in the balls like 100 times. I give him credit.
That was a weird. Like,
he didn't make weight. I gave him credit for that.
That's another thing. He didn't even make weight.
I don't give credit to fighters.
I forgot Marquez schooled his ass.
All right, hold on, guys. We have a phone call.
You know, he was 147 pounds on the night. Toledo was.
All right,
147 pounds.
All right, hold on. 510. You're on the air.
What's up, everybody? This is Ross Clock 222, the one and only.
What's up, man?
What's good, Joe?
Y'all? So here's the deal. If you watch that fight again with Salido and Lomachenko actually won that fight. Now, I watched it 4 or 5 times. I didn't see Salido winning.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
A lot of people agree with you.
I had Lomachenko winning that fight.
He should be.
Me too. I had Loma winning that fight.
Lomachenko should be undefeated right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
Huh.
Period. That was that was the second. Come on, that was the second pro fight against a rough, tough, rugged. I guess you could say a somewhat top guy. I mean, you wouldn't see Tank Davis fight somebody like that at a second fight, or even Tevin. Salido would have beat Tank Davis and Tevin Farmer that same night.
He learned a lot from that fight. He learned. I'll tell you, Lomachenko learned a lot from that fight.
Usyk's second fight wasn't no no guy like Orlando City. You know, I love Usyk. I think Usyk is the pound for pound fighter to me. But he didn't even fight a guy like you could compare to Salido in terms of his weight class.
Hey guys,
you
hold
know,
on.
and they were like, it was a close fight. I mean, it's like Salido, he's got heart and he's rugged, you know, and he's just and he's awkward and he illegal tactics included. You know, he's got good of both worlds. He does things illegally. He's a good fighter.
Hey,
Right, guys.
caller,
Hold on.
hold on, Stu. One second. Caller, I don't know your name,
that
but
Lomachenko would have did an immediate rematch with Salido, and he would have schooled Salido.
Yeah, caller, I don't know your name, bro, but you're on point.
That's Rosclot. That's
Rosclot.
Oh,
he's in the chat.
What's up, dog?
Lomachenko would have schooled Salido if they fought immediately right after. I
He would
don't
have tooled
remember
him up.
what happened with rematches or whatever. I don't know what it was. Maybe he was too Salido was too big to make the weight again, too fat. I don't know, but I wish they would have did a rematch so that we wouldn't have trolls constantly using Salido as the key factor to why everyone could beat Lomachenko in the past. Lomachenko could compete with any lightweight, any 126, 130, and 135 person that in the history of boxing. It's pretty
spot
obvious,
on, my man. Spot on.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, it's embarrassing that these fans have to bring Salido up. I mean, the fact that this guy was 147 pounds and like found weight, was hitting low all night, got a gift decision, and fighting against a guy that's had one fight, and you guys want to big this up like he did something. I mean, you're an embarrassment, and you're
It's
the
an
same
instant.
sort.
It's
You're
an
the same
instant.
sort of you have fucking Leo Santa Cruz posters in your bedroom. I mean, they're the sort of people.
Yeah.
Andre Ward,
And
bro. Andre
you know
Ward.
what? And you know what? Sorry about that. Recognize. And you know what? Another thing too is the reason why they say Crawford is pound for pound or Spence is pound for whatever the case is. The reason why they say that is because these guys don't watch the lower weight class. That's all it is. It's they don't watch the lower weight class. They don't know those names. So what they say? Oh, he's not fighting anybody. Who are these guys? Because you guys don't watch them. That's just like me. I don't really watch anybody that much at 118 and below. I'm a casual fan when it comes to those weight classes. So somebody said, oh, you know, Donaire's next fight, X, Y, and Z, and they're not new to the guy that Donaire's about to fight. They're going to say he's fighting above because they never seen him before. It's the same thing. Just like with Usyk. These guys these haters, y'all know who I'm talking about, they did not speak on Usyk until Blood Boxing spoke on him. The minute Blood Boxing spoke on him, then they had to give Usyk his props.
That's a good point.
Because when Blood speaks on that side, that's it. Everybody listens. No, it's true. When Blood speaks on that side, they follow. That's how it goes.
Yep. Did you
because
guys see Blood Boxing's Did y'all see Blood Boxing's latest video, which was really good on Luis Ortiz? He was spot on Luis Ortiz. And even in the comments, people still are like, oh, Luis Ortiz, I don't believe he turned it down. He turned it down because he can't pass the drug test.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
They don't watch.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, it's sometimes, you know, they have to speak on some issues because it can only go so far where you can't ignore it no more. That's the reason. They had to come a point in time where they had to talk about Usyk because he's pound for pound. He's up there. And Lomachenko, you can't avoid the fact that he is great, you know. His greatness is on display.
Listen, if you start discrediting Usyk and claim to know anything about boxing, then you're really doing your channel a lot of harm. And I think even the most pro-black hardcore Nation of Islam fucking followers, whatever you want to call them, they even have to look at Usyk, and that's a talent.
Go ahead, Stu. I'm sorry.
No, just like Lomachenko, as much as they try to hate on this guy, they know damn well he's a talent. They know damn well.
I believe it was recognized that mentioned this a few shows back. People frequently like to ignore this. This man traveled to Poland, to Glowacki's backyard, to Huck's backyard in Germany, to fucking Moscow, to Belyu's backyard. He traveled.
He went to Latvia.
Yeah, to fight Marius Bradius. Yeah, bro. He's a fucking he's Mad Max the Road Warrior, bro. I'm telling you.
Can you imagine if Crawford did some shit like that? Can you imagine how people would just be swinging off his nuts? Like, honestly, if he just went all over the world, collected all them belts.
Well, I had an argument with a few Americans, and they were adamant. They were trying to say to me, that's what I'm annoyed about. They were trying to say to me that RJ Ward fighting in LA is not a home fight. That's right.
Yeah.
RJ Ward fighting in Vegas is like a guy from New York fighting in Jersey.
Yeah, but that's the way fight.
Talk about he's not in his hometown. Of course,
you know, and come to think of it, it's a good thing that America's not too involved in the cruiserweight division because they didn't put too many roadblocks with the sanctions, with the belts. He was able to travel and get these belts from other countries because the United States didn't have a piece of it. I mean, that's just to be fair.
All right, guys, hold on. Okay, I have to interrupt here. Rasclot, anything else that's on your mind?
Yes, I like to say that Mikey Garcia was always overrated. I always thought that he ducked Linares, and he also ducked Lomachenko. He looked fat and chubby, and Errol Spence was too weak and too garbage to stop him. I don't want to hear anybody saying he wants to show his boxing skills. And all. You mean to tell me the killer, the guy who's a body snatcher, wanted to show boxing skills against a little 130-pound fat, chubby Mike? You're a fucking bullshit.
Hey, Rasclot, so
straight bum.
Rasclot, are you going with Crawford? Are you going with Crawford then?
To beat who? Spence?
Spence.
Yes, I'll tell you why. I know you guys are talking about his resume at 147, but look what he's doing. Jeff Horn is a big guy. What's the name of the other guy? The guy with the kickstand. The guy that had the kickstand. The one leg.
Benavidez.
Who was he? What's his name? Benavidez.
Benavidez.
Another big guy. And then he fought Benavidez. And then he fought Amir Khan, another big 147 pounder. And he stopped him. What you think he's doing? He's preparing himself for a big ass Spence. And he's gonna beat Spence. Guaranteed. Oh, his next fight's gonna be Kell Brook, right? That's another big guy for Crawford to fight. He's preparing himself for the big man. You just watch and see. While he keeps fighting them little 135-pound little lightweight, look what my man Crawford is doing. Think about that one. Peace out, fellas.
All right, take care, Rasclot. See you next time.
Peace, Ross.
Right.
He makes a good point. He makes a good point about fighting, like, you know, I think Crawford is just as big as these motherfuckers. Maybe Jeff Horn might have been bigger. And I know definitely for sure Benavidez got size over him. Yes, Benavidez is compromised. He got shot, but look, I'm not gonna say and take anything away from him. But if he didn't get shot like 3 months ago, and then take the fight, I'm not gonna say it truly affected him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but leg shots, like, you can get over that. But look, Benavidez is a limited fighter who did give him problems. I saw that. But at the end of the day, he knocked him out. Maybe he wasn't, you know, there's content to the reason why guys get punched. Not that they want to. It's just like, look, I don't fear your punches. Your punches don't really do nothing to me. It's all about me closing that range so I can start, not, you know, dropping some heavy shots on you and knock you out. But he does make a good point. He's fighting guys welterweight size. Spence, if he keeps fighting little dudes, yes, he might be behind the 8 ball. I still take Spence as of right now. But
Well,
to
there's
me,
no more-
that's a 50-50 fight.
There's no more. I'm sorry, but there's no more small dudes for Spence, right? I mean, what would it be? Who would it be?
Yeah, fuck. Al Heyman's
Danny
gonna throw him in
Garcia?
there with
Yeah, Garcia started out as 140.
But the thing is, I'm not so interested in whether they're bigger or small. It's just if they have punching power. And Crawford has fought these guys, but nobody stands out as being a really hard puncher.
Yo, I just wanted to add something to what Rasclot was saying, because did he just give credit to Terence Crawford for potentially fighting Kell Brook, but criticized Spence for not fighting big guys? Is that what I just heard? That's all I gotta say.
I think, well, yeah. No, wait. He said Brook is a big guy, and then he's.
That Spence beat the fuck up. That guy? Yeah. Come on, man. I hope they make that fight soon, because I'm gonna be taking all of your money.
Yo, this is
Look,
like
my problem. I don't have a problem. Okay, sorry, Johnny. Go ahead.
I'm just 1 second. I was just gonna say, no, I respect all y'all opinions, bro. But I just, in my opinion, it's a pick'em. Spencer Spencer Crawford is a pick'em. It's a pick'em fight, bro. And for me personally, I just think, I see. To me, I think yes, Spencer's bigger. He's got a good jab. He's a lefty. But he don't got that fucking mean streak in him like Crawford does, dog. That's just my 2 cents on it, bro. It's a pick 'em, but I got Crawford if they fight.
Look, since these fighters are not fighting the best, and they're fighting few and far between, every fight is a revelation. And if I was high on Crawford before, this fight showed me evidence that maybe I should reconsider that. And this is the thing about Spence. I don't have nothing against Spence. Even though he went to 12 rounds, he's a good fighter that thoroughly dominated. That I still believe he has good punching power and good skills. My problem is not with Spence. It's with the PBC that he's not getting the fights within his own stable. Even with the welterweights, they're making it very hard. So it's not with him. And as far as the Spence and Crawford fight, I'm kind of edging Spence now.
I'm not saying it's not a competitive fight. I'm not saying it's not a good fight. I'm not saying Spence walks right through him. I'm just confident he wins. That's all I'm saying. He's just better in every area. I can't think of anything that Terence Crawford is better at than Errol Spence Jr.
I think
Terence is flashy, and people like respond to wide punches because wide punches are easy to see. And he's mean, but I mean, there's some fights of Spence where he's just as they're both dirty, mean kind of guys. You know what I mean? When it really comes down to it, and you could criticize Spence for not knocking out Mikey. It is what it is, but I'm not paying too much attention to that myself because I don't know, man. Crawford's just overrated, man. He's just so overrated.
Yeah,
the problem that Crawford's gonna have in that fight is dealing with that jab coming from a southpaw stance. I think that's going to be a problem for him. Can he win the fight? I think he could. But if I had to put my money, man, if I had to really, and I hate fans. I don't really hate Spence, but if I had to put my money on it, I got Spence. I got Spence Jr. beating him.
All right, guys.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, but recognize. Would you say it's a pick'em fight though, bro?
I think so, absolutely. I think that they're both not that good.
Guys, we have another phone
call. They're just not that good.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey,
you know what? I think the welterweight division is... Go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
510, you're on the air.
Yeah, it's Ross Clot again.
I knew it.
I want to respond to PP for a second. My point is, Terence Crawford is fighting big guys the minute that he stepped up to 147 pounds. He didn't fight anybody little. He hasn't fought anybody little. He was fighting small guys when he was in the lower weight class. But as of right now, at 147, name one small guy that he fought.
Benavidez was a small guy. Benavidez came up from 135 pounds, and on the night he weighed in at 145 pounds. He's a stick. He's tall He's tall, but he's a stick figure. I don't consider him a big guy. If you can't take Terence Crawford's punches, you're not that big.
Okay, then what about Lamont Peterson and the bum who we tried to let out the cage? What weight class did those two bums come up from? Remember the guy, the personal trainer. We're gonna let him out the cage. What's that bum name? He started out at 140. Lamont Peterson.
Yeah, but
you can't say none of those guys is bigger than Jeff Horn or
I'm not saying that they're bigger than that. I'm saying Terence Crawford hasn't fought anybody at 147 pounds, and Errol Spence Jr. beat Kell Brook. That was one of the best welterweights at that time, if not the best one. I know he was beat up by GGG, but it is what it is. Like, if we're gonna give, my point was this: if we're gonna give Terence Crawford credit for fighting Brook possibly in this next fight, and I think he should get credit. I mean, what do we say about Spence, right? Obviously, he beat the better version of Kell Brook. So that was my only point. Let's not. But everybody on the way up fights smaller guys. Everybody does that.
Let me ask you this. Would Spence beat Kell Brook if he didn't fight Triple G.
I'm not sure if he would have
He never
beaten
had the Triple G
like
fight.
a prime. I'm not sure, but I don't see how that's relevant to.
In my opinion, Kell Brook would have whooped his ass. To me, Spence is
Maybe
limited.
I don't know.
just
Maybe
got
he
the
would have.
power.
I picked Errol Spence to stop him. So.
Well,
Yeah, I ain't trying to brag or anything, but let me just say this before I shut up. I don't really get too many fights wrong. I'm just gonna leave it at that. All right, take it easy.
Oh, come on. You said that Thomas Adamek would beat Ken North if they went back in the past. Give me a break. Come on, man. Come on, man. My
Look,
prediction.
also, I have to say things change. Like I'm just gonna make an example. The Canelo that's fighting now wasn't the Canelo of a year and a half ago, right? So every performance is like, for example, Danny Garcia, based off his last performance, I know this wasn't against the best fighter, but just the way in the thorough fashion that he defeated Figueroa kind of makes you believe that okay, Garcia is one of the players in the welterweight division. I was just gonna say
He beat Granados.
Granados. The welterweight division is a glamour division. It's kind of an illusion because these guys have a name, but would you really say at this point that what's his name? My God, the short guy, Sean Porter. He's a great fighter. When he had a close fight with Ugas, would you say who else is the PBC? Spence, I mean, he went the distance with Mikey Garcia. He'd probably be the best, and that's their marquee fighter in the whole PBC. I mean, and he's got a name. He's building a reputation. Okay, props. But aside from that, the PBC side, they say they have all the welterweights. Do they really have that, or is it more of an illusion to us that they're holding the cards to what? Sean Porter, Manny Pacquiao, just signed with them, yeah, because he's a superstar that's been dominating or just in the last 10 years.
PBC got the
Gonzalo,
biggest name. PBC got the biggest names. It's unfortunate that because they got the biggest names, you probably won't see Terrence Crawford ever fight Garcia. You probably won't.
But the biggest names. Sorry, Rasta, but are they as dominant as we are perceiving them to be?
And I'm not even trying to say that Errol Spence is some kind of great fighter. I've criticized him plenty in the past. I just think he's a lot better than Terrence Crawford. That's all I'm saying. I'm just picking a fight. I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm just trying to look at it objectively, and I don't think it's a good style matchup or skill matchup for Terrence.
I can feel that. I personally think Spence is overrated.
Oh.
Depends, right? It depends on where you got him.
Major problem.
I've said many times he doesn't deserve to be on this show live. That he doesn't deserve to be on the pound for pound list. I've said this many times.
Yeah.
So I don't overrate Spence either. I'm just saying, like, Terrence a hype job, man. Straight up hype job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good fighter, but yeah. Castellanos has.
Sorry, there's a war going on in the chat. The Mexicans are coming at me.
I see it too, Stu.
It's become a bit of a UK versus Mexico at the moment. But
I see that, Stu.
Yeah, what the hell happened?
I want the Mexican listeners to name who trolling me, to name their top 5 Mexicans. Then we can break it down. I'll name my top 5.
We can, but Stu, we can't even pick Canelo because somebody claims that he's European and not Mexican, whatever that means. So
you go by
we're one down.
Hey, you go by appearance.
You look like
if you go by appearance, he is European.
Yeah, but so I mean, how do you classify Mexicans? It's like a mix or a full native or full white.
He's from Mexico.
That's where he was born at. Butcher. I was just playing, man. Do you feel? Obviously, say he's fucking Irish. I was just messing. But I'd like the Mexicans to name the top 5 Mexican fighters, and we'll take it from there because a couple of them are saying they dominate boxing. So I want to know what their best 5 are. No, not from the past. I'm on about now. I don't want to hear about Chavez Senior. And all that. I want to hear about the fighters today. We'll take it from
in
there.
the chat.
It'll be a good topic.
Go ahead. Top 5 Mexican fighters, best Mexican fighters. Rasclot, anything else you want to say, or I think I cut somebody off?
Yes, I'm about to go. But before I go, I'd like to say the best Mexican fighter of all time is Salvador Sanchez, and then after him is Michael Carvajal. It'll never be Cesar Chavez because he fought 75 bumps.
I'm gonna hang up on you now. Goodbye.
How dare you say that? How dare
How
you?
dare you?
Nah, Chavez had some good fights.
No,
I'm not
listen.
gonna- he had.
Take away 40 bumps, and he's still 40-0, and he fought some good opposition. So get out of here.
I'm gonna have to debate. I'm gonna have to debate Rossclaw for that one. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm just not
he
gonna
had those
have
in
that
between fights with bumps. I
Rocky
agree.
Lodrich, Juan Laporte,
Exactly,
Tony
man.
the Tiger Lopez, Medrick Taylor, two
Keep
times.
going.
The
Keep
second
going.
one,
Keep
yeah.
going, Gonzalo. Keep going.
Gonzalo.
Medrick Edwin Rosario.
Yo,
Jesus Luis Ramirez.
And then people claim, oh well, he lost against Winky, right? Who am I saying? Pernell
Hector
Whitaker.
Camacho.
Yeah, but Pernell was a welterweight. He even fought at 154, and then and he was running the whole time. So
Okay,
I mean,
finally, he had 90 fights and he lost one. I mean,
yeah, I mean,
Jesus
who
Christ.
cares? Like, what is this?
I mean, the evidence is there. When somebody's a patient fighter, can keep his eyes open and hook to the body, be patient, and have an iron jaw. I mean, that's just two qualities amongst many. That is just very cut off the ring. Kind of like Golovkin. He's just, you can tell those guys are just at their division. They're just beasts.
I mean, you could tell that the guy Salvador Sanchez had a higher ceiling than Chavez, meaning that he had a greater potential from the technical standpoint, maybe. But Chavez, and if you want to talk about Chavez fighting bums, the difference is he was fighting bums as a tune-up fight while fighting five times a year. He was not fighting bums while fighting once or twice a year. That's the difference.
Exactly.
Yeah, Roger Mayweather also. Julio Cesar Chavez said that Edwin Rosario hit like a bat. His punches were like getting hit with like a bat, and he was 27 years old, the same age as Spence.
Rosario was a good fighter, bro.
Rosario beat Camacho.
Yeah,
He beat Camacho.
Rosario was a beast.
No, go look at that fight, guys. If you guys like going back in the crates, digging in the crates for old fights, like that's a fight. Go check it out. He beat Camacho, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Rosario reminds me of my cousin Milano. He fucking looks just like him, bro. Little guy.
And like Hector Camacho, he didn't have a lot of punching power if we're gonna do boxing math, but he beat guys like Mancini, which were past their prime, Sugar Ray Leonard, a few other fighters that is like, okay. I mean, yeah, they were older, but at the same time, when Camacho fought Chavez, they were both in their prime.
Yeah.
Bro, you want to hear a funny story, Gonzalo? On the week he was supposed to fight Sugar Ray Leonard, I happened to be in Harlem, somewhere in Harlem, and I went into this little bodega over there, and at this time, like, if you didn't have ID, you would go to these bodegas, they will cash your check for you. They'll charge you like a $5 fee, some shit like that, right? So I went there, and guess who was hanging out there just sniffing coke and drinking beers?
No way.
In Los Angeles?
Camacho. No, New York.
Camacho? Okay.
In Harlem.
Oh, New York. Yeah.
This is where he's from. Like he's from Puerto Rico, but he was raised in Spanish Harlem, and yeah, he was just hanging out, drinking beers, sniffing coke. Like, I'm gonna whip Sugar Ray Leonard. I'm not worried about no Sugar Ray Leonard. I'm gonna whip his ass.
Yo, recognize, ain't that the same place Alpo and Richie Porter and all them dudes was from? Recognize?
Oh, you talking about Paid in Full? Yeah. That's where they're from. Well, not Spanish Harlem. They're from the East Side. They were from the East Side. Actually, Alpo is from Spanish Harlem, because I know he's black, but he's Puerto Rican though. Like Puerto Rican, meaning he's if I had to guess, he's from like St. Thomas, like my grandmother, that one of those people that came from St. Thomas and moved to Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And shit like that, and then made a family or whatever. Like, if I had to guess, going by his skin complexion and him having a lot of African features. But yeah, Alpo was from Spanish
90
Harlem.
seconds.
All right, hold on, guys. All right, this is the end for Blog Talk Radio. Thank you for joining us. We're gonna continue on YouTube. Take care.
Yeah, that's how my
Thank you for
Puerto
using
Rican
Blog
cousins
Talk
are
Radio.
recognized. They're dark,
Goodbye.
bro.
didn't recognize? Didn't Camacho go back to the main island and he got killed because of a drug deal gone bad?
Oh yeah,
Or like 40 kilos of coke or something.
well, he was living in Puerto Rico or visiting, one of the two, because he lived in Florida. Also, he had a house in Florida, and he was, from the way I understand it, he was, hanging out with dudes that are drug dealers and shit like that, and I don't know if it was intended for him, but when you're there, when a hit goes down, it's one of those things. You're at the wrong place at the wrong time, so they took him out too.
Yeah. You in the room, bro, they spraying everybody.
Yeah, it's like you just happen. Look, it's like one of those things. Like you were hanging out with dirty motherfuckers, so he took you out too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, I don't know if you guys still trying to talk about this shit. Let me know if not. But I was just gonna say something, just didn't get a chance to. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed how Terence Crawford throws his jab, but it's kind of like as if you were hitting a nail with the hammer. That's kind of the trajectory of his jab. He like.
I know what you mean.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes,
like kind of wants, like he's trying to slap your punch down, and then when you look at Spence's jab, and I think this is why he's gonna have hella problems with Spence. Spence's jab is like a stab. It's like a rapier, and it's faster. It's more direct. It's harder, man. I'm not seeing this like.
Throws his body into it too. Precise.
Yeah,
Spence
he goes up
throws
and down, and he's deceptively fast because some of his punches he throws slowly on purpose, and then he sits on his shots and throws them fast. And Alan in the chat room's been saying all night that Montero has been out there saying that Terence Crawford is the most technical fighter in the world, like he's got better technique than Lomachenko, yada yada. And to me people are just crazy, like they don't see the little things about Terence Crawford, something we've been talking about from the very beginning of the show. Like he's not that good technically. He's not, like, and when you think about where he's coming from, Nebraska, it's not exactly Omaha, Nebraska.
It's not a boxing state.
Exactly. It's there's not like, it's like some guy coming out of the Midwest, like Granados. I'm not saying he's like Granados, but it's like the Midwest isn't known for producing quality fighters like the best of the best, at least not in the last 20, 30 years.
No, you know what, bro? From Precise, most of the good fighters over history that come from the Midwest, it's always been from Detroit and Ohio, bro.
Yeah.
Let me explain something to you. There's a lot of misconceptions about boxing. People don't realize it's like, look, you got to get in there with like tough fighters, guys who are really skilled in order to be like at your very best. And I'm not downplaying Terence Crawford. There's just a lot of loopholes, and I mean that literally. Like the way he throws punches, he's open for a guy who throws short punches
down the middle.
Down the middle, right? Just keep it basic, boom, boom.
Yeah.
You're gonna beat guys like that. That's the reason why Tarver knocked out Roy Jones. He hit him with some basic shit.
Hey, that's facts, bro.
He hit him with basic shit. It was nothing flashy. It was nothing crazy. Just some basic, down the middle. He's a lefty, right? He caught him with his left, and he knocked him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. He's cagey and he's crafty with the long arms, but he's not sharp.
And this guy's flashy. Terence Crawford is flashy like Roy Jones in his own way. I'm not saying that he was super fast like Roy in terms of weight, right? Like in terms of the weight, Roy Jones is a lot faster than Terence Crawford.
Yeah, way fast.
Yeah, they fight flashy like that. They're people who catch you off guard. You understand what I'm saying? Where guys like at least with Errol Spence, or let's go to like a guy like Lomachenko, right? Lomachenko is catching you in your face because it's not basic down the middle. When he's hooking is when he knows he's got his man wide open. Where Terence Crawford is hooking, hoping his man is wide open. In other words, he's banking that his man will be wide open, and he leaves himself open. You leave yourself open, and he's going to get away with that with certain fighters. But I think that when you see him go up against the Spencers of the world, maybe even Sean Porter, who smothers all your punches, right? You're going to see that there's going to be probably even Danny Garcia who who could counterpunch pretty good, man. He's a good counterpuncher. He might have problems with guys.
Recognize. Didn't DeVal drop Roy with some straight shits with a straight left or something?
Bro, he caught him with the basic shit, bro.
It was a 1-2.
Roy made the biggest mistake. You never duck down as a righty, put your head down to a southpaw. So catch you with a straight left.
The problem we got with the welterweight division today is that the houses are divided and there's not a lot of overlap. In other words, there are no measuring sticks. Like, we don't see a guy go into the PBC and then fight somebody at top rank at welterweight, right? So how do we know how Terence Crawford compares to someone like, someone who shot even like Peterson? Well, how does he compare to someone like Garcia or Porter, like you were saying, or any of these guys, right? He's never fought anybody close to Danny Garcia's level at 147 pounds. Like, I'm sorry, you could say whatever the hell you want, but he's never fought anybody on the level. For him to fight Danny Garcia right now would be a step up. What do we think Danny Garcia does against Spence? He probably gets stopped, right? I mean, I'm not trying to, swing off Spence's balls too hard, but not too many people would give him a chance, right? But he's a level of a fighter that Terence Crawford has never even fought. So we could speculate and say, oh, he'll beat Danny easy, but I beg to differ. I think that's a tough fight for Terence Crawford. You know what I mean? So these Top Rank is an excellent promoter, man. They know how to match their fighters. They know how to build them up, hype them up, and they tend to overhype their fighters because that's their job. And I'm not saying that Spence is the best shit since sliced bread, but it's just really what it is. Like, I don't see how Terence Crawford should be rated above Errol Spence Jr. on the pound for pound list, and in my opinion, neither guy belongs there.
And
I was gonna say, just go ahead. I don't want to hog up the conversation.
Thanks, man. Just quickly to precise this point. For example, okay, I don't even want to get into comparing Lomachenko and Crawford because they are completely. I mean, Loma is on a different level. But look, Loma, whenever he had some troubles, he learned from that, and he almost never repeated the same mistakes. While Crawford, he was making the same mistakes I was pointing out after the Benavides fight. Whenever he planted his feet, he was getting countered even by Khan. When he turned southpaw, he ate a couple of lead rights from Khan. And to precise this point is that fighting guys that we already know he's going to beat, he cannot learn from that. And when he steps up, for example, if he fights Spence, he'll be in a lot of trouble because he didn't correct those mistakes because his current opponents could not capitalize on his mistakes.
Gentlemen, I'm gonna log off. But
have a good one, bro.
All right,
peace.
Peace.
See ya.
I was just gonna say, when you mentioned Danny Garcia and based off his last performance, look, holy shit! I saw something with that right hook that he throws, reminiscent of the one he knocked out Eric Morales with. So I guess that's not a fluke because he can throw that right hook like a straight bullet. It just comes out of nowhere. It's very fast, and I wish he could just do that more often in every fight. But it just comes out. He throws a good left hook too, but that right hook, how he positions himself, looks very weird. It just comes right over the top, and it's very fast and sudden.
I got a
question.
You
guys notice that?
Yeah, I did, Gonzalo. I got a question for y'all as well, bro. Because I made a little video about this, whatever. Who would you guys rather have Pacquiao fight, Danny or Thurman, bro? Because I'd rather see Danny, to be honest with you. I don't give a fuck who's got what belt.
Thurman's just going to run, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'd rather see Danny.
That was my whole point, precise. Yeah,
yes.
Exactly.
Anybody else?
I'd rather watch him fight Thurman.
Yeah.
Because
sorry, bro. I had a question. Who do you guys pick right now at this point in time? Posto versus Khan. Who would you pick in that fight?
Posto.
Like with certainty.
Yeah.
Posto versus Khan.
I don't think I can pick Amir Khan against any top fighter.
Okay, before the Crawford fight, before he went in and fucking laid an egg in that fight. Like, I don't think people would have been picking I think it would have been 50-50, man.
Yeah, I think Khan would have probably been a favorite in that.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So it's arguably you could say that Crawford fighting Khan was a step up. And think about what that means. It's arguable. Maybe it was Postal, right? But think long and hard about what that means at this point in time for a pound for pound. Arguably, no argument here, but people are saying, right, pound for pound number one fighter in the world, for Khan to be arguably a step up for this guy. Come on, man! Think about what that means. That's embarrassing.
It makes it look bad, really, when you break it down like that.
Stuart, who would you rather see Pacquiao fight? An official, you too, bro.
What? Well, Danny. If I had a choice between Danny or Thurman.
Yeah.
Well, I've said before, I can't bear to watch Danny Garcia fights. I didn't even watch the Granadas fight. I can't watch him. He's put me to sleep more times than the sleeping pills have. I mean,
he looked good.
That was a good fight, man.
I can't say that it wasn't a good performance because I haven't seen it. I've just seen so many times I've watched Danny, and he's been so disappointing. And he's technically very good, but he's just not busy enough for me.
But everything you complain about, he was the exact opposite of that in this fight. So that's why people were high on him.
Yeah, because I'm hearing a lot of good things about his performance. So I'll go back and check that. But
he watched the show and took what you had to say to heart. Man. I gotta impress this crabby ass English man.
Yeah, well, I think I've done him a favour because he's actually become exciting for once in his career, by the sounds of it. Because like I said, the last time I was excited for this guy in a fight was Lucas Matisse, and how long ago was that? So yeah.
Bucho, who'd you rather see him fight, bro?
What we're talking about, Danny?
No. I says if you got the choice, but for Pacquiao to fight Danny or Thurman, who would you rather see him against?
Thurman, the best fights possible. Listen, Pacquiao's a legend. Thurman. I mean, he gets knocked out, whatever, man. I don't want to see him against lower level opposition. And by the way, Danny Garcia, hold on. Danny Garcia, everybody's like going crazy about this guy. Come on. He fought a faded Granados who looks slower than usual, who is always open to shots. You know, I'm not even like, I don't care. Fuck, this sucks now. Because now Danny Garcia is back in the conversation and he's gonna, fight Spence. Instead of having Spence against Thurman, we're gonna have Spence Danny. It's like, fuck out of here. He's gonna be the new Robert Guerrero.
To answer to your question, Johnny, I think that Garcia fight would be better to watch, more interesting, and it's clearly much easier stylistic fight for Pacquiao at this point. But at the same time, if he fights Thurman, it would be great because that win at this age would be crazy. I mean, if he ever fights Thurman, I see probably Thurman due to his to his physiques, etc. To winning. Not winning, but leading against Pacquiao on points. But I'd still give Pacquiao a very good chance to stop Thurman.
You know what? Let me just say this, Johnny. I think I was listening to you, official. Yes, good point. But I think Thurman would be the easier fight for him to get a belt, because to me, Danny Garcia right now is more dangerous because he's actually filled into the weight, and he's basically in his prime right now, and with the experience. He's got the experience. He's physically big for a short guy, and Danny Garcia's got a granite chin. He's got a really good chin. I don't think Pacquiao can knock him out because he's never been knocked out.
Thurman looked bad in his last fight.
Yeah, Thurman looked bad. Yeah. He doesn't have a good chin, and he was put on Queer Street by this one guy, right? By what's his name?
Lopez.
By Lopez. So if Manny Pacquiao can get him and connect him and start battering him from pillar to post like he did Jeff Horn, kind of the way Thurman was looking, it'd just be interesting to see how he would react, because at that time when he's got him like that, Pacquiao's gonna go into beast mode, changing the angles and see how Thurman can react out of that situation, because he's shown that when he gets hurt, he can't put his boxing brain together that well.
You know what? I was talking to my boy the other day. He's also a big, huge Pacquiao fan. Like, he can't go back way in the history books like some of us can, but he knows the last since like the 80s and shit, 70s. But he was like, Johnny, you're crazy. Pacquiao can still, I don't give a fuck if he's 40 or not. That dude can still hang with the best of them. I said, yeah, you're probably right. And I love the guy to death,
Yeah, he can. But listen.
Yeah, like win or lose, he can still hang in there. Is what he was saying.
But Danny Garcia, I heard you guys said he has a chin, all right? But let's be honest, man. His boxing skills coming forward, wait. You look at the Thurman fight. He didn't do shit. He couldn't. Thurman was on his bike, just moving around, and Garcia wasn't doing crap. He's like a counter puncher, just waiting for
Danny didn't have an answer for anything, Bucho, in that fight. Nothing. That's why I thought Thurman won it.
And by the way,
see that
Thurman's chin is not that bad, I think. I mean, yes, he got hurt against Lopez. That might have been due to his inactivity or something. But when he fought Sean Porter, there was a lot of exchanges there, and he did pretty well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the chin thing is, I don't know, man. Let's look at boxing skill. Who has better boxing skills, Thurman or Garcia?
Well, Thurman, obviously. Thurman.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I think it's more dangerous for Pacquiao to fight Keith Thurman than to fight Mikey Garcia. I mean, and Mikey Garcia...
Bucho, I don't think it's more like dangerous. I think that these guys, these welterweights, the thing that makes them hard for either Danny Garcia or Manny Pacquiao is the fact that they run. If they run, they use their legs, it could be considered skills, but that's kind of what makes it complicated, because they can box, but as soon as they come into contact in the fire zone, they're going to step back and get on their bicycle and, in and out like that.
Well,
just because Pacquiao's 41, the leg thing. But that's it, yeah.
Well, that was my point. I mean, I just think him and Danny would make for a more entertaining fight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because if Pacquiao hits Thurman to one of those body shots he hit Broner with, where he was squeezing his ass together,
Yeah, he's gonna be moving, jabbing, just boring. Yeah, and Danny Garcia he can do shit. He can move. You know what?
I'm thinking. Danny can move his upper body, okay, but he can't move. He's not good on his feet. Bucho is what it is.
No,
bro.
And he's gonna try to catch Pacquiao coming in, and it's not like he's that accurate. Let's be honest.
He's wide.
He's
wide.
But if he lands, obviously that's devastating.
Yeah, against Granados.
I'm reading a comment here. Eric Rosas says Danny did fight with more volume. He will lose to fighters who can move around in the ring for 12 rounds. Yeah. I agree.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Thurman.
And Peterson.
Yeah, but also Danny's back. His power is crazy. Granados, I believe, was fighting at 140 before. So, I mean, knocking this guy out, it's impressive for the highlights reels, but can this power hurt a guy like Spence?
You know what, Bucho? I said this before. I like Granados. I was rooting for the kid. He's from my backyard. But he was tailor fucking made for Danny. So let's not start praising Danny for that. I mean,
Well, he looked like Mike Tyson there.
Yeah. Mike Tyson versus Mitch Green.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a better performance than what Granados between Granados and Porter.
Oh but Porter's a fucking...
but I was disappointed with Porter in that fight. Then again, he kind of smothers his own work by the way he fights, and sometimes.
He kept fucking holding that Porter fight. Drove me nuts.
Yeah. Why are we talking about this, anyways? How did we get into
I
this?
don't know. I brought it up. My bad. We just kind of got. We were talking
I
about.
think
Yeah, we were talking about Danny or Thurman or something, and then I just like, oh, who would you guys rather see Pacquiao fight?
By the way, I'm gonna let everybody know in the chat as well. We are working on the BDA boxing trivia game. So I was working on some questions, and also Revolucion sent me a bunch of questions. So I was trying to put them in categories, like, so we have easy questions, medium type questions, and then easy questions. So just letting you guys know we're working on it. And I think Stu's gone. Yeah, he went to sleep. It's gonna be the first show is gonna be Stu versus Recognize the Matrix. So stay tuned for more news.
Oh, that'd be fun to listen to.
Yeah.
Can I give my 2 cents on Tete and Donaire?
Yes. Give us your prediction as well. I'm gonna write it down.
Okay, but there would be enough of time to change my prediction, right? Because it's in a week.
Yeah, there is time. Of
right.
Course. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Right.
So for right now, let's say that I have Donaire winning by KO or TKO in about 10th round. But the thing is, I have to rewatch 2 last of Donaire's fights. But some interesting things that I saw in Tete's fight against the other Filipino, Villanueva, or whatever the guy name was. I mean, Tete is right. He's pretty quick and pretty sharp with his punches, especially with his straight shots. But he often pulls back, and I mean, his footwork is really, really fast. So obviously, it's going to be a problem for Donaire, who's get. I mean, he looked sloppy to me in the last couple of fights, from what I remember. But when Tete is jabbing and pulling back, he leaves his arms in front of him, especially his jabbing arm. And a couple of times the Filipino guy followed him and then unleashed the combos on him after pulling back, and he had a lot of success. So if Donaire is able to do that, I see him knocking that out as well.
Okay, I didn't know this. Yeah, so you watch more fights than me, I guess, from Tete. I just watched like the. I guess who was it? His last fight, the
first round of the Super Series.
Yane or something. Yeah, and then somebody else, and I still think that. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say no. You're wrong. In fact, I watched the fight against the Filipino guy, and in fact, I haven't seen his last fight from the World Super Series yet. But go on, man.
Yeah. Okay, so
but sometimes fight is enough to see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think I've seen it. Well, I'm not gonna go watch Tete against some bum, because then what's the point? He's gonna knock him out. It doesn't tell me anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we got your prediction. Nobody's picking Tete. Oh yeah, Stu's Tete unanimous decision. I'm gonna also give you my prediction. So, all right, my prediction is Tete by stoppage. That's right. I just think, yeah, I'm going to take this.
Did BDA make one?
No, I guess tomorrow he's gonna make one. Tomorrow, by the way, guys, we're gonna be talking about Progress against Relic, so stay tuned for that tomorrow. All right, I'm going Tete stoppage. I'm gonna say like 10th. I just think
it's an interesting fight.
Yeah, I just
Because
think
it's
I'm
a
not sold.
unification bout.
I'm not sold. I understand Donaire. Listen, Donaire was a beast at 118, but that was a younger Donaire, and I still think he's a bit too slow. I think Tete is gonna be able to see those punches coming, and obviously if Donaire lands, it's gonna be dangerous, but he won't let anything flush. So I think
That's why I agree with Precise as well that Tete would be probably leading on the scorecards.
Yeah, yeah. The thing is, I think that hits harder than people think. More than he has 28 wins, 21 knockouts, I believe. Who he fought is I don't know, but I think the power is there. But we'll see. We'll see.
Certainly is. Go on. Sorry.
No, that's it. Go ahead.
For nothing special, I just wanted to say that I think that some of you guys already mentioned it in the beginning of the show, but we really haven't seen Donaire yet at this weight again. So, I mean, it was only 4 rounds, and he was just starting to warm up. So we still don't know exactly.
Yeah,
how...
I mean, yeah. To your point, I mean, we haven't seen much. Like he's dropping back down. He was at 126, 122, and then 118. Is he gonna fade in the later rounds because of the fact that he has to make weight during training camp? I'm pretty sure. Well, not pretty sure. I mean, I would assume that at his age, it's gonna be kind of hard to make 118, or maybe not. Maybe that's his really natural weight at this point.
Yeah, natural weight. He's a Filipino. You know, he's naturally small and.
Exactly. Yeah. So maybe he was a fat as at 126.
Yeah. Maybe he could feel it. Maybe this is interesting because since it's a unification bout and Donaire is also coming in as a champion, he could feel rejuvenated. That I'm not coming in as a challenger or anything. He's just got a belt.
Yeah, and again, experience might play a factor in this fight. Obviously, Donaire has been fighting mega fights. Many more mega fights than Tete. Tete is his first, I guess, big fight now, a semi-final. So maybe the pressure is gonna be on Tete. Nonito has nothing to lose. By the way, you know what I mean? He just got a second chance at the end of his career. So listen, Tete, maybe he might not be able to handle the pressure. Who knows?
Yeah, especially in the first rounds because, like Precise was saying. It's true. His best performances, Nonito's best was at that weight when he beat Cochulito Montiel, when he beat Vanis Martiro, Darchinian.
Yeah.
And, so if like coming out of Nonito's mouth saying that he wants to take him out early, if he can show up like a fresh fighter, where he's displaying the same skills he did when he was younger because he's trying to take him out early.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be interesting.
Yeah, I got one. I know Butch was probably going to wrap it up here in a second. Ain't you, Butcho?
Yeah. Go ahead. Last word.
Okay. No, I was just going to say, somebody brought up an interesting question for me today or the other day. And I think I said something in one of my videos I made. Sweet Pea versus Lomachenko. Who would you take? At 35.
At 35. I guess Lomachenko. Man, Lomachenko has underrated power. Yeah. I'm telling you, man. This guy, when he sits on his punches, he can crack, man. I don't understand these people who said like he's a pillow puncher or whatever. Nah, man. This guy can crack. The problem is catching Pernell Whitaker, right?
Yeah, he's gonna run, bro. He's gonna run.
He's gonna be like De La Hoya Whitaker. No, not even that.
Yeah, like De La Hoya Whitaker.
No, because De La Hoya was throwing flurries.
Yeah.
Mucho, you're right. The pity pat punches are it's a technique to have the other guy commit. So when we throw the pity pat punch, he's trying to get the other guy to punch.
Yeah.
So when the other guy punches and he commits, the opponent commits, then he comes on with something hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, he's already committed. Yeah.
Yeah, he does it on purpose. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it was just an interesting matchup.
No, that's a good one. I don't know what. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. De La Hoya can't apply pressure. No, he couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say he had fucking Pernell Whitaker running for the fucking fence, but
Well, he was just throwing flurries. Like I said, he was throwing flurries, and then Whitaker was just like taking steps back, and then he would De La Hoya would overcommit. And
Bucho, you gotta look. Just if you ever get a spare time, bro, go look at one of the Pernell Whitaker De La Hoya. Just look at the comments, bro. Everybody says Whitaker got robbed in that fight.
Get out of here.
I'm like, dude, you're crazy as fuck.
When you fight like that, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna give you the fight. I'm sorry.
You're not fighting. You're
not
running.
fighting.
You're trying to, yeah.
So it's science. Like, get out of here, man. You can't be on the back foot that long, man. Like,
Well,
you don't want to fight. I'll put it this way. If De La Hoya would have done the same thing, fought the same way Whitaker did, there's no fight. Both guys are gonna be on the back foot. So who the fuck? It doesn't make sense.
And what they'll tell you is, oh, you just don't understand defensive boxing. That's all it is. You don't understand.
All this, it's so funny. All this defensive boxing talk originated in the United States because they somehow created this idea of what boxing is in modern times. What defensive boxing is, what outboxing is, and it became part of the culture. And because all these fighters have to travel to the U.S., most fighters travel to the U.S. for the big fights, they have to fight under this type of boxing perspective. American boxing, about this is boxing, this is how, and so they get robbed by these fighters who are on the back foot, are clinching, are slapping. Fucking Landry Ward's a slapper. We're talking about slappers today, and the judges can't all that shit. So I don't know. It's funny that it originated from the U.S. where, anyways.
You know what?
I don't know.
I was listening to fucking Kellerman talk the other day. Okay, now this is what we all know. Kellerman says a lot of dumb shit, but he says, well, I think if I could change one rule in boxing, it'd be if you keep holding too much and shit, they should start taking points from you and disqualify you. But how are you gonna say that when fucking Pernell Whitaker and Andre Ward are your two fucking favorite fighters, dog? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, this all started with Floyd Mayweather as well. This whole talk about defensive style and you don't understand boxing, and they were just saying all these things to defend their man Floyd because he was boring as fuck. So they had to invert reality up. It's like so upside down. So no, he's not boring. He's actually exciting if you understand the sport, Like they created all these narratives. Fucking.
Go ahead, Gonzalo.
The most interesting part that not what anybody else tells me, that I found out about Floyd Mayweather's style was, okay, I was interested in to see if this guy could get knocked out. And he proved to have good defensive skills because obviously he trained to be that type of fighter ever since he was a little child, a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, that's what he displayed most. He had a really, really good defense. But with all that said and done, the only thing that he proved to have as far as offense was a sharp counter right hand. Jabbing and a sharp counter right hand.
Yeah,
and it's few and far between.
But the pot shot, but Gonzalo.
The pop shot, yes. The check hook and the pop shot.
Yeah, the love. Anyways.
And so what are we talking about?
Gonzalo,
check hook.
Gonzalo, I have a question for you. So, but you said that obviously Floyd displayed all this defensive prowess, but what happened when that defense was broken in a way, like when he was on the ropes and there was a lot of pressure that he couldn't handle? What would he do? He would clinch.
Yeah, he would.
He would clinch.
He would.
He
would clinch. He would. Yeah, he would go into the high guard and.
Okay.
Yeah, he did have a good defense, but he would
I agree.
throw.
I agree
he wouldn't throw that many punches. He would land 1 or 2 clean punches per round, and even if the other guy didn't land cleanly himself, I mean, he somebody that got him against the ropes like Maidana was obviously hitting him to the body. I mean, whether the judges would like to see that or not. I mean, if you're gonna score based off Mayweather landing 1 or 2 clean shots that were more eye catching as opposed to Maidana bullying him to the ropes and
Yeah.
not choosing to take that into account. I mean, that's just that's like you're saying the narrative of the United States judges
Yeah.
because yeah.
Now, I was just gonna say also
I thought
stay.
Maidana won the first. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry, Bucho. Sorry.
just gonna say like staying out of range also. If I stay out of range the whole time and then hit you with a pot shot, with a right pot shot, like those Floyd right hands. Oh, I landed 3 of those. I stayed out of range the whole time. I clinched when I had to, when I was too close to the ropes, and then I win the round. That doesn't make sense to me, man, because you were on the back foot and you were out of range.
Bucho, I thought Maidana beat Floyd in the first fight, or a draw.
Yeah.
A draw.
And to his advantage, look, to his credit, I think with further as time went on, fighters knew that he was going to resort, like you're saying, staying out of range and going into the high guard. That I mean, they knew that they couldn't outbox him with like that in the first few rounds. So basically, what fighters would get discouraged because they knew they had to deal with somebody like that. That's he was very poised and he did excel at that, but it's pretty frustrating to fight somebody like that.
Yeah. It's, but then again, the judges don't step in. So the referee doesn't step in. So it just becomes acceptable, and that's the thing. The precedents are there. No, well, you're allowed to clinch 50 million times. It's okay. It's part of the sport. It's called smart boxing. When you're in trouble, the whole time you listen. If you're in trouble, if you got knocked down, all right, you're trying to clinch, whatever. But when you're trying to clinch when you're not even hurt, I mean, fuck, man. That shows me you can't fucking fight. You don't want to fight. You don't want to engage. I'm not giving you a round. I actually, no, I'm not going to give you a round. You're clinching too much, man. You don't want to fight. And in the rules, it says that you're not. There's no wrestling, no clinch, excessive clinching. You get points deducted. I don't even think you are allowed to even clinch once, man. To be honest, in the rules, it says I don't think there's no. It's not allowed. The referees kind of allow it, which is okay, I guess. But when you do it excessively, come on, man.
Yeah, exactly, Bucho. That's exactly what gets on my nerves because judges, not only nowadays, but in the last 20 years, at least, if not more, they're waiting up till the late rounds to take the points away from the boxers, either for clinching or for the low blows or the other illegal tactics. I mean, it's crazy. You should warn them 2 times at most. The third time you take a point away because if the fighter is allowed to clinch for 10 rounds and win 10 rounds by clinching, he doesn't give a fuck if in the late rounds you take a point away from him. Looked just like Klitschko against Povetkin.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
he was warned all over again every round, but he got his points taken away too late, man.
Yeah, exactly. Like you gotta do it straight away, man. Clinch too much, all right, man. Give you a warning. You're gonna take a point. You don't wait until the end, man. Well, anyways, Gonzalo, you were gonna say something because I forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah, no, I was just interested to see. Like, I know when Manny Pacquiao fought Mayweather, they fought in a 20 by 20 ring. That's the biggest size ring. I was just interested to find out if all fights nowadays in this modern era, if they all happen in 20 by 20 foot rings, because the standard size is 16 by 16. That's the smallest.
Gonzalo,
Mm.
if you go watch some of them fights from you go watch some classics from like Marciano or Joe Louis or Willie Pep or Ray Robinson or one of them guys, the rings are fucking small, real small, dog.
Mm-hmm.
And if you like, that's what I say, bro. If you threw Floyd back then in one of them rings and the ref didn't give a flying fuck what was going on, like Ray Robinson would have beat the
Imagine,
dog shit out of
hey,
Floyd.
Johnny boy, imagine how many times Floyd would be clinching in those small rings.
Oh, bro, he would have gotten the dog shit beaten out of him back then. And here's my pops, my old man, because Hagler and like Arturo were like two of his favorite fighters. But he fucking hates Ray Leonard, bro. And he's like with how I am with Floyd about Ray Leonard, bro. He's like, oh yeah, they gave fucking Ray Leonard the biggest ring of all time up to that point when he fought Hagler and shit. Like he fucking hates Leonard, bro. That was like
was the ring how huge was the ring in the Pacquiao Mayweather fight? I think it was big now that I think about it.
20 by 20. The biggest size.
The biggest size. Yeah.
The biggest size available. Yeah.
It looked.
Yeah, Floyd put that in the contract.
Yeah, and you know, since the commissions have no oversight, they decide if Las Vegas says, "Oh, we're gonna do this," nobody's gonna tell them. Aside from Las Vegas, nobody's gonna say, "Oh, you can't do that." You know, so if Mayweather, you know, he's from Las Vegas because he switched over from Grand Rapids, Michigan, to his hometown Vegas. You know that he claimed. I mean, he was in cahoots with a lot of the decision making. You know, in his favor.
Yeah, of course.
With the gloves, you can't fight with those gloves, and you know, because there's no regulation that, you know.
And sorry, Gonzalo, you cut off.
No, it's okay.
So look, guys, I never really wanted to talk a lot about Pacquiao Mayweather fight for two reasons. First of all, I didn't want to appear like some butthurt fanboy because I'm a Pacquiao fan, and secondly, I was very, very aware that that fight happened 5 years too late. But man, to this day, it gets on my nerves when I hear people say that Mayweather schooled Pacquiao. At first, I had it. I would not be mad at Floyd winning 7-5 rounds, but in reality, I had 7-5 to Pacquiao, and you can say all you want about Pacquiao being having a lesser skills than Floyd, which is not necessarily true. But man, he was countering the shit out of Mayweather, and he was landing a much better shots.
Listen,
and all he did was all Mayweather was doing was clinching and running. It was terrible, but he countered the shit of him.
Yeah, when I was watching the fight, I was at a bar. I thought it was close, man. And I was like, oh wow. And then like Floyd's on the backing up. He's clinching a lot. I mean, I was like, oh my god, this. And then somebody tells me, what are you saying? It's a blowout. I'm like, what? I don't know. Wait, before I talk to this guy who's next to me, I don't even know who that is. I'm watching the unofficial scorecards, and they're giving all these runs to Floyd, and I'm like, am I missing something? Then I was like, am I drunk? Maybe I was drunk because I wasn't seeing what the fuck this unofficial boxing scorecard was. The judge was watching. The guy next to me.
You know who that was, Butcher? That was Farhood.
Farhood, yeah, I think it was Farhood. Yeah, fucking Farhood. This guy doesn't know shit. This other guy next to me, he's like, oh yeah, you don't know. Floyd's winning. He's some ghetto guy there. Obviously, he's a Floyd fan. He's with his like baseball cap and all that shit, like back, like a rapper. I'm like, what is this shit? I mean, seriously? I'm like, because I thought I think it's closer. And then I started questioning myself. I was like, I have to be drunk. I have to be drunk.
Oh, 1 second, official. When I watched that first Maidana fight, Bucho, I went to a movie theater in the ghetto with my chick at the time. She worked right down the street from the movie theater, and it was all black people, bro. All black people. Okay.
This guy that I talked to you about wasn't black. He was a Latino gangster wannabe. Obviously, he's a Floyd fan. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was all, and I was like, yeah, and it was packed, and I'm like getting up there, like, because I was kind of buzzed, like, I was like, yeah, get that motherfucker, Maidana, get that motherfucker, and these dudes are looking at me like, shut the fuck, this fucking little white boy, shut the fuck up. I'm like, what, bitch?
Yeah.
And at the end of Pacquiao Mayweather fight, man, Max Kellerman took a shit on Pacquiao. And but that fight, it reminds me of another fight that we already talked about earlier. It reminds me of Pernell Whitaker Chavez. The difference is I had Whitaker slightly outpointing Chavez 7-5, while I had Pacquiao winning 7-5 against Floyd. But I'm saying that it reminds me of Chavez Pernell is because the American media, boxing media, was was talking about a lot of nonsense, saying that Pernell is schooling Chavez while he was doing nothing. I mean, he was making Chavez miss a lot of shots, but he did nothing in return. Chavez, at least, yes, he missed a lot of shots, but was still landing on him and winning at least, 5 rounds, in my opinion.
You know
That's
what?
a good point.
You know what, official? With both of them fights, and I think it was Precise said it, bro. Yeah, I'm not gonna go as far to say Chavez. I won't say Chavez won it, but that's not the biggest fucking robbery in the world, like people make it out to be. Calling it.
You know.
Oh no, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no. Fuck
And
no.
for people to say that, like Rascar was making a comment, and I know a lot of people nowadays, if they didn't pay attention to Julio Cesar Chavez's career, they want to say that he's a bum. Well, look, Jose Luis Castillo was from the same hometown, Obregon, Sonora, but I mean, Chavez was from Sinaloa. He lived in Sinaloa, but this Jose Luis Castillo was from his hometown, and he was his main sparring partner. So they basically, he copied a lot of his style from Chavez Senior. Now, if a lot of people want to say that Chavez was a bum and then Mayweather would have schooled him, you can just go ahead and look at that fight and kind of surmise that Chavez would have given him the same, if not a better, beat him. It would have been. And if you put in a Mayweather that's going to run around the ring and pop shot, yeah, well then you can go ahead and say that Mayweather can't beat Chavez. But is that what really fighting is all about?
You know what, Gonzalo? Chavez, or excuse me, Floyd couldn't keep Maidana off of him. What the fuck is Chavez in his prime gonna do to him, bro? If and Chavez was such a tough little son of a bit. He's a Mexican Jake LaMotta, bro. He's he ain't moving for nothing, bro.
Even his uncle Roger Mayweather will tell you that. And if you look it up on an interview, that Chavez was like right there in his face. That's the thing about him. He was a pressure fighter with the good chin. He wasn't going anywhere.
It's so funny. It's so funny. These flow modes, they like to suck fucking Roger Mayweather's cock because he knows everything about boxing and everybody doesn't know shit about boxing. But when Roger Mayweather says, he praises Julio Cesar Chavez, it's so funny, ironic, because his fans, Roger Mayweather fans, they call Chavez a bum. So they contradicting their master, It's impressive.
Exactly, yeah.
Precise just said in the chat, he says, Floyd couldn't keep Maidana off of him, but he'd school Margarito. Exactly.
See, this is what we were talking about, Floyd's defense, but he never fought Margarito, man. He was gonna come forward like a madman. He was way taller than Floyd, so it was gonna be a very interesting fight. That's why Floyd didn't take this fight, man. He decided
what, Bucho,
Go ahead.
With guys like Margarito and Chavez Senior, this is the thing with them too. Floyd does not punch hard, dog. They are gonna chew through that shit like a piece of bubble gum, bro. They're not going anywhere, dog. They're gonna be right in Floyd's grill the whole time. Like same thing with Roberto Duran, bro. Like these dudes would have beat Floyd's ass, dog, without any rigged rules or judges. Like I say, you stuck Roberto Duran or Chavez Senior versus Floyd in the 1950s. You know how bad Floyd would get his ass beaten. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Exactly. Margarito and Chavez Senior would not give a damn about his pot shots because they would walk through them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another interesting thing, why did De La Hoya not fight Mayweather before 2005 or 2007? I mean, and why didn't he fight Mosley earlier?
Wait, first of all, Mayweather was at 135 in what the early 2000s. So and the lawyer was already at 154 at that time.
Oh
So
wow. Okay.
yeah, the lawyer moved to 154 in 2002 when he fought Vargas. Oh no, before that he fought Javier Castillejo, 2002. So yeah, no, they were like three-weight divisions apart.
Listen, man. Floyd, listen. I'm not gonna tell as much shit as I give Floyd. He was a great fighter, bro. He was, okay. But he did way too much bullshit with the judges, the fucking running and hugging, the ducking people, and all that shit to have him even be in the conversation of the best of all time. He wasn't even the best fighter of his era, let alone of all time.
Johnny Boy, like you're saying, before the age of 30, he fought De La Hoya in 2007 at the age of 30. Okay, and after that is when he became famous, like really famous. Like people are gonna say, like, oh, what do you mean he was famous? No, I'm talking about this when he developed this aura of invincibility.
Superstar.
Yeah, that's superstar. Before that, his career was an okay career. It was like a Crawford career, to be honest. It was a type. That's a good point. Comparison. His career was like a Crawford career. It's
Yeah,
okay.
well, and here's the other thing. Other thing, Bocho. People act like I'm not okay. Pre-De La Hoya, Bocho. People act like Floyd had some ungodly resume when he was Pretty Boy Floyd. No,
No. Let's look at it, man.
He fought an old Gennaro Hernandez,
Yeah.
Morales, and Castillo, who he lost to. So what? Come on,
There was
man.
Popo Freitas and all these fighters that he never fought.
Lightweight Shane Mosley, Kostya Tszyu, Paul Spadafore. There was a bunch of guys, dog.
Yeah.
I mean, he lost. He fought Angel Manfredi. Remember that? Like, okay, who the fuck? He fought that Sosa guy. He was, I remember the cousin of Sammy Sosa. Who the fuck was that guy? He fought a bunch.
Angel Manfredi's from over here too. Angel's all right, but he yeah, man. I mean, Angel wasn't no fucking great fighter though either.
I mean, he beat Arturo Gatti, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, Gennaro Hernandez, Angel Manfredi, then Carlos Rios, Justin Juco. Remember that? Carlos, I don't know who, Herrera, Giorgio Vargas, Emmanuel Augustus. Remember Emmanuel Augustus, who had like 16 losses?
The Drunken Master.
He was the Drunken Master.
One second, Bucha, before you go on. I just want to put this out there. I'm not going to say any names, but one of those channels, those race channels, they said, one of the popular ones, with a lot of subs, one of them said that Emmanuel Augustus would beat Lomachenko. Just let that sink in.
All right, we're gonna end the show now. We're gonna close everything down. This is I have lost all hope in humanity. So
I'm just gonna say, when like you were mentioning that a lot of people criticize Chavez as not being so good, or even as far as calling him a bum. Look, Chavez, to the Americans, to some of the Americans, that's not their style of fighting. In Mexico, he's very revered because he's a come forward fighter. And if you want to talk about who passed on the torch to who, look, Chavez passed on the torch to De La Hoya. De La Hoya, Mayweather got it from De La Hoya and used it on a Mexican holiday. And De La Hoya and Mayweather, fought Canelo. Canelo kind of, he lost, but he kind of piggybacked off that. So you can see a trend here that these fighters that are making a lot of money nowadays, whether it's Canelo or Mayweather, even De La Hoya back before that, kind of piggybacked off of Julio Cesar Chavez, because Julio Cesar Chavez was very popular and he would sell a lot. I know he was on the undercards of Mike Tyson, but he was very popular and he was, he would sell a lot, but he just got ripped off. But he still made a lot of money. He would make like $10 million a fight.
Oh yeah.
So they could. What I'm trying to say, and in other words, is they have to get credit for Chavez too, because he kind of started this whole thing. You know, he kept it going. I mean, they had it with Leonard before that. You know, but this is the glamour division, 140 pounds. But anyways, you know, these guys, you know, De La Hoya and Mayweather, they're welterweights. But anyhow, you know,
there's one small interesting thing that I remarked about Chavez. I mean, from today's standpoint, if you look at his fights, you'd say that he doesn't have a really good distance control, but in reality, he didn't give a fuck about it because he knew he had a chin from a different dimension. It's not a human chin, so and there to punish the opponent. And a proof for that is if you go and look his later fights when he was well past his prime. I think it was in the 95, 96 when he fought the Italian guy that just won gold a couple of years before.
Or Giovanni Parisi.
Parisi, yeah. Parisi, he won, I think, the gold medal a couple of years back.
Ooh, yeah.
And so he was toying with him. He showed, even late past his prime, he showed that he had the boxing skills, great boxing skills, amazing defense. He was making a fool out of Parisi. But so he could do it even in his prime, but it just wasn't his type of fighting.
No, yeah, he had good, excellent waist movement, underrated defense, and he had good legs too because he could cut off the ring effectively. You know.
Yeah, I mean, there's even I don't know if you guys know, but there's a short clip of him sparring De La Hoya. It appears that they had sparring sessions between them before their fights, and so he was fooling around De La Hoya. I mean, he was touching him, jabbing him, but he was
knocked him
making
down. He knocked him down.
Yeah, but my point is, even in sparring against De La Hoya, he was making him miss a lot.
Guys, we're gonna have to end the stream because it's kind of lagging on YouTube. I can see, so we're gonna end the show now. So see you tomorrow. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
Good night, guys.
See ya.
Later, Gonzalo.
Later, official.
Bye.
Peace.
See you tomorrow. What's it called? World Boxing Super Series. Prograis against Relic. We'll discuss that tomorrow and more. See you guys. Take care.